Oh, by the way, can you send me the on Discord? Can you share your screen?
Yeah. Yo, mic check, mic check. It's TEKNOBLAST here with SIKSLAYER on Technos Gaming. Eli will be here eventually at some point. He's our, what do you call him? Our financial analyst, is he?
I would say he's financially, what did I say? I forget what I said. He's financially knowledgeable, something like that.
Yes, he is. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, whoever's in the chat, please do us a mic check and make sure you can hear us, because my settings got changed earlier today and I didn't mean to change them. So we want to make sure that you can hear me and you can hear Sik as well. So
it's all good, bro.
It's all good. Okay, good. Fantastic. So what a busy week, man. People are still...
the financially intelligent one. That's what I
think. Yeah, the financial intelligent. Yes, he is. What's up, Punny? How you doing, bro? Our Canadian friend. Dude, Starfield's still being talked about. It's been what, 2 weeks? Or has it been 3?
3, I think, actually.
We're on our 3rd week now.
Yeah,
I think,
because remember the first week was the early access. That was 5 days.
So, Funny says he sound like Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye.
I told you, Sik, because I put the filters and to make the sound look better. They hear me through the OBS and not through Discord. Like they hear you. So they hear the nice Marvin Gaye voice, you know? Oh yeah.
She has the treble, you have the bass.
Yeah, I lowered my treble on my voice because I'm naturally high, and put some bass into it to make it, a little bit more comforting voice for the viewers. Starfield still taking over. Everybody's still talking about it, whether it's good or bad, whatever, man. It's still it's still advertising, and people are just going nuts over it. People are building some insane outposts, and I just got into doing it over the weekend because of what the realist told us about. Do this, do that. And it's like, all right, finally, I spent 2 days building out. I mean, it's nothing big or extravagant, but trying to learn how to build out an outpost on 2 planets, right? One was the one that everybody's going to. I forgot what the name is. And the second one is the one you sent me. The one that has like 5 minerals in one location. Right. So I did that one too. And sure enough, man, I can get everything from that one location. The only downside about that location is that it's right next to a mountain. So there's only so much room you can build because of that mountain area. Game Pass Gold is gone. It is dead. It's now Game Pass Core as your entry level service, which has a number of Xbox game or a number of games, and it's going to be rotated 2 or 3 times a year. So you're always going to have like 20 something or 30 something games, selected games. You can't select them. It's something that Xbox have curated, and that's good enough. Good enough for me.
That works for me.
Works for me. You got Tokyo Game Pass announcements. There is the rumored Brooklyn Diskless Series X. Brooklyn. Spider-Man 2 doesn't have transitions, but I think we know that since June, so I don't know why it's a big deal today. MGG has lost it. Idle Sloth posted some financial numbers. That's why we need our financial intelligent guy to be on board. And then you provided a post of a guy making this. It is awesome outpost with some night lights, which was great.
And nuclear fusion.
And then somebody at Tweaktown named Derek posted a article, showing the financial profitability of Xbox, and of course everybody attacked it, and he bent the knee to the ponies. So,
sucker. That's
what we're working on today. Hopefully, we can fit it all in. But let's start off with Starfield. I've been loving it. My son's already finished the main story. He hasn't gone back to it because he's not allowed to play Xbox during the week during school days. So that's what he has to.
That's how I grew up.
Yeah. And then he got in trouble today, so he has no electronics for the remainder of this week and next week. So he got in trouble today.
Check yourself, but wreck yourself.
So I told him, I said, you want everything, but I need something in return, and that's good behavior and good grades. And if you don't give me that, you're not getting anything else. That's how it works. That's how it works in my house. But Starfield is amazing. It's fun. I'm sure I'm close to the end of the story, but I don't even want to bother looking. I'm just having fun exploring, building the outpost, doing all the side missions, any regular, like the little missions that they have on from the mission board, and just, I don't know, man, just taking over. It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Mindless not mindless, but like it takes you away, and time goes so
quick. It does, dude. It is no joke. It does take you go in for like one mission. Maybe you just wanted to build out your outpost, and before you know it, it's like midnight. You didn't realize like 2 or 3 hours have gone by. Right.
Jeez.
But I mean, like, for one that is not a builder like myself, of course it's going to take like 2 or 3 hours to finally realize what I'm doing. And then by that time, I'm like, crap, I got to go to bed. I got to work tomorrow. I got to wake up early. I got to work tomorrow. I got to get these kids to school and everything. But dude, I mean, besides the haters, the ones that just, you're expecting to hear from, man, Starfield has taken everybody.
Yeah. Everybody and their mama talking about it, for good or for bad, right? Yeah. And if you're speaking bad about it, at this point now, you're just full of it. We all know.
Just everybody
full of
it. Yeah,
everybody else knows, right? And I don't know what more I could say about this game. This is a game that people will be playing well into the generation, maybe even into next generation.
Yeah,
that's just a staple of a great game of the generation type thing. Just like, I was saying that a lot about Skyrim, right?
Yeah.
People love Skyrim, but there's also GTA 5. GTA 5 is so successful, right? That people are mad when they start to resell it on other platforms that didn't have a native version. Like when
GTA 5 originally was on 360, right?
Yeah, on 360. Wow. So it's been 3 generations now.
Wow.
When they made the native Series X and PS5 versions, right?
Yeah.
Of course they sell them, but if you're on Xbox, it's the same thing. You just upgrade.
Yeah,
free,
it's just
right?
upgrade. Yeah.
But if you never bought the game, you have to buy it over again. But people like rolling their eyes like, oh, GTA 5. But that just goes to show that it sells. People still play it. Like, that's the caliber of game of the generation. All these other games that people love to talk about, Baldur's Gate, all this other stuff, you don't hear in the zeitgeist well into the next generation or even the generation after that. Very few games do that where people keep playing it, even though the platform they was on has been succeeded, and in GTA 5 and in Skyrim's cases, succeeded twice. You know, 360 was 2 generations ago, not last generation. And people still play those games. So those are the games of the generation of that generation. I would say even last generation. Like, what really beat those two? You know?
Yeah.
That everybody was playing, except Nintendo guys. Sorry, but I mean, I'm not trying to be petty about Nintendo, but
yeah,
you know, I'm just making the fact, because like if the Super Switch is everything, well, I'm hoping it is, and it's looking like it might be, you know, minus 20%, because Nintendo is never gonna make it as good as they could. That's good enough for me. I'll get a new Nintendo system, but you know, so I'm just saying what the facts are. I feel.
Yeah, it's the game is it just grabs you. I mean, I've always been a fan. I've been a fan of Bethesda games since when I was introduced. I think it was more for Fallout 3, and then Vegas, New Vegas. That's when I started like going more involved in those type of games. Was those two games, and I've been a fan since. I tried Skyrim, and I never finished it. I don't remember if I tried Skyrim before or after Fallout, but I just couldn't. It didn't grab me like the other games did. I don't know if it had to do with the time period, which on the time period I'm all for. But I just never. It never got me like the other games did. But I don't down it. I don't say it sucks. I don't say like, hey, you know, nobody should play it because if it wasn't good for me, that means it's not good for you. I won't do that. You know, it has a huge following because it's special to people. You know, and I'm not going to take that away just because
like Skyrim. Yeah. I feel the same way. Like I played the VR version of PS3 a little bit. Not interesting game, but I see why other people like it, right? Like my brother loves it. You know, he lives in, so it's like countless people love this game. But I see it's a cool game that people like. I don't have to hate on it because I'm not into it myself, right? Yeah. But I recognize from when I played, it's a good game. If I was into it like that, I would have been on it for. I'd probably still be on it like everybody else is.
Yeah. Know? And I've dove into it. I have a game save, you know, set up, and I've gone in. I actually put it down to easy mode just to kind of get through it, and find out, you know, trying to make myself. I am making myself trying to play it and enjoy. Which at the times I've enjoyed it. And I have no complaints over it, except that, you know, I just kind of got other games that I really want to play, and just like with Starfield. But my Starfield to me is what Skyrim is to many others who played it back then. So this is going to be my Skyrim, which is Starfield.
Yeah, me too. Me too, pretty much. I'll be playing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I have lots of goals, and it's pretty clear I can actually make those goals happen, you know, from what I'm seeing in the game.
Oh, talk about goals. I've always talked about trying to get that 6666 subscriber goal. I'm one away. I'm at 6665. I'm one away. And so hopefully it won't be too long that I get my 6666.
And hopefully you don't miss it when it happens and you go in into
when I hit
let me know if it happens, I'll unsubscribe to you.
When I hit 1,000, when the first time I hit 1,000, or the only time when I hit that 1,000, I completely missed it. It's just like it went to 101. And I'm like, oh man, I missed it.
Oh man.
I mean 1,001 when it went to 1,001. So.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that happened.
Because I think that was a big deal, because that's when YouTube starts doing the monetize stuff. So. Let's see. What else did I have got going here? But Starfield's amazing, dude. I mean, like I told you, my son finished it, but he was more about the story and the spaceships than anything else. So he just kind of ran through the story. No big deal. I mean, that's just the way he plays. Yeah. He enjoyed it. So I don't see him. He didn't
care about the side mission and all that other stuff.
Yeah, no, he didn't do any of that, because he's like, "What are you doing, Daddy?" And I was like, "Well, I'm playing this mission." I didn't play that. And I was like, "Yeah, because you ran right through the story. That's why you didn't play it." You know. But either way, he enjoyed it. He liked it, and he always tells me, like, when he sees me playing, he goes, "Daddy, you suck at Starfield." I was like, "There's no way of sucking at Starfield." It's not like I'm competing with anybody. But
wait, hold on. You said you suck at Starfield because you didn't beat it yet?
Yeah.
He sucks at Starfield because he ran through the plot and didn't
That's
do anything else.
That's what I told him. It's like, you suck. It's like, you didn't let the game sink in, you know? You didn't let it sink in and like really, really enjoy it like you're supposed to. But he can't. He sucks more right now because he's punished from video games. So You should come. Wilkins said you should convince your son to do the faction quest. He would love it. Oh yeah, yeah. I'll tell him. Well, he started a new plus game. He did that, so I don't know. I don't know if he. I think he skipped the main story. I think that's what he did. So I have to ask him when.
Oh, in the Noon Game Plus, yeah, you get to choose, right?
You get to choose between do everything, or I probably will skip the main quest and just go straight into, I guess, whatever's left, right? Would be just side quests and missions and factions, stuff like that. Is that how that works?
Supposedly.
Because I usually don't do a plus when the plus game is available. I just finish it and move on. But this one.
Oh, in RPGs, I do like Chrono Trigger. I did as many RPGs I did, but not all. It depends if the game if I really, really, really love the game, that's something I do. Yeah. I remember when that was a new thing in RPGs, like Chrono Trigger and actually, I don't know of anything that's older than Chrono Trigger that did that. So it wasn't in Final Fantasy 6, aka 3 for us here in America at the time. We knew that as Final Fantasy 3. That didn't have that, I don't think. So I don't know anything older than Chrono Trigger that had it. I'm sure it wasn't the originator of it, but either way, yeah, New Game Plus is a thing that only if you really love a game that you do it, because what you get out of the game options wise in terms of items or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But in a game like Skyrim or particular Starfield, where the choices matter.
Yeah.
And if you want to see the alternate choices, then you could do the New Game Plus and do the other choice that you didn't do before.
Right.
So I could see that.
What I did notice was in Diablo, when I finished the story, and what was it? I wanted to do the DLCs, the Malignant whatever missions. Mm-hmm. I went in, started a new character or whatever, new game, and I just kind of flew through the settings. So I ended up picking do the quest, like the main quest, and it was a mistake because it was like, okay, now I have to do the whole thing over again, which I didn't want to do.
Yeah, when you had the option not to, and then it would have given you the credit as if you did it.
Well, because I've never done that before. That's the thing. So it's just like,
oh, you didn't realize what a New Game Plus really was.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it's spelled out right in front of you, do you want to start with main mission or just skip the main mission? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm like all stupid. I was like, oh no, like I'll do main mission, I guess.
Yeah, but now you get the idea though. That basically,
yeah.
Like you skip over that part because you did it already. They give you the credit and whatever comes with it for beating it, and then you can move on to the
so with Diablo 4, what I did is I went ahead and just but I started a new one, and this time I selected to skip the main mission and went straight into the Malignant story mode, the DLCs. Wow. So now I have a better understanding how that works. So when I get to the point of Starfield, that's what I'm just going to skip the main mission. I don't want to do the main mission again. I just want to do whatever. Let me do whatever I want,
Yeah. I'm going to do what I want.
I do what I want, man. New Plus Games Next Level, though it's super hard to say anything about it without spoiling, I have seen some crazy story scenarios. Well, it incentivizes skips so you can tell them everything. But again, main mission again, there are some dialogue differences and I want to take a different path. Yeah, I get it. I get it, Wilkin.
We don't even completely understand what he means by that until we see it ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. But it's nuts, dude. I mean, right now, I have. Which starship do you have? You?
Well, so I did the Mantis mission. I have that. I have, of course, the base one.
Yeah.
And then I have another ship. I won't say how I got it, but I didn't pay for it. I'll put it to you like that. I didn't steal it or nothing. But,
my God, did you hear that?
It's a spoiler that I have it.
Yeah.
And it's a spoiler as to how I got it. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah. Well, I got the Stronghold, which is a 400. Well,
actually, I can tell you that I got the kid stuff perk, right?
Mm-hmm. No, wait, say it again. So, the what?
Kid stuff trait, not perk. The trait, right? And so you have your parents, and so eventually you get a ship from them.
Oh, okay. Do you know that?
Yeah, I got a ship.
Yeah,
I haven't even used it yet.
I picked up the Stronghold, which is on Aquila City, which costs 400 1,000 credits, and I bought that.
Wow.
But when I
Wow.
bought it, I didn't have the skills to manage that ship. So I couldn't fly it.
Right.
I could buy it, I just couldn't fly it yet.
Fly it, yeah.
And so what I think I talked about this last time, what I started doing is just flying system to system to pick a fight, right? To find pirates that are like want to pick a fight with me. And, you know, so I can get the credits of destroying starships to rank up. And I did. I flew right by it really quick, just going starship to starship. I mean, system to system, and just kind of randomly going to.
What you could have did was, so that whole outpost thing that I showed you, that video, like you're doing outposts, you know, for, you know, the authentic reason, but you could have did the XP thing, right? And then use the XP just to get the perk, right?
Yeah.
And just put into that perk only, right?
Yeah.
To unlock that, and then don't do any more, and then continue on.
Yep.
You can still do that, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I could.
Because you could use whatever element that you could do, whatever the thing you're not doing, you know, to use the XP gain to your advantage.
Yeah.
Right. But just enough to unlock that perk, and then don't do it anymore.
Yep. Wilkins asking you, did you take your parents to the Neon nightclub?
Okay. Let me tell you what happens with the parents. Right. It's not going to be a spoiler other than the ship part that I've already mentioned. Right.
Yeah.
So, as far as I know, it's best that you meet your parents immediate, right? Because when you meet them, you talk to them, blah blah blah. You get a backpack, right? That's fine because it's your old high school backpack. It's a good item for you know, holding because it allows you to hold items more, right? So it's actually pretty good early on, right? But as you do missions and stuff, you go back to them and you talk to them more, and there's 3 things to give you. It's like tiers, right? Like you know, 3 missions, you talk to them, you get this thing. You do 6 missions, you talk to them, you get this thing. You do 8 missions, you talk to them in the ship, right?
Yeah.
Because I had done like 8 or so missions or whatever, I have 4 of the powers, right? I'm level 17 or so, 16, 17, something like that, maybe even 18, right? And so when I went to finally meet them, you know how it is with these types of RPGs where you have dialogue options. So you speak, and you know, just before you leave, you check to see if all the dialogue options are used up, right? So you've heard everything that they have to say before you leave, right? Yeah. Just as I did that, I talked to my dad. He gives me something, right? I'm not going to spoil that.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, let me go to the mom. Spoke to the mom. I got something else. I'm like, oh. Let me check the dad one more time. Then I got the spaceship. But I kept him, and I talked to him again. You know, I didn't get nothing. So, and then I looked through a walkthrough to see if that's all I'm gonna get. And so I didn't know anything about taking them to Neon or whatever like that. But I did go to the lodge, right? And they were there, right?
They like to keep an eye on you.
One time. No. They came to visit and see because they're really proud that I'm in Constellation.
How you doing, mijo? Right? Mijo.
Yeah. But they're really nice. I really like how they did them, and you know, their faces are based on what your face was. Yeah. Right. Or you could tell that you're their offspring. Like these 2 people would make a person that looks like you. Yeah. Right. Like procedurally generated based on your looks. Right. Yeah. And they're very nice people. Like I said this last night on Unlimited's podcast. Thanks again to him for having me on. By the way. But basically, like, I'm now emotionally invested in their well-beings because there's an option to
off them.
To basically, well, I guess you could shoot them. I guess I'm not gonna do that, but to basically disable the trait by kicking them out of the house. Yeah. Right. Because the tax for having your parents is 2% of your credits every, I forget what the period is, right?
Oh wow.
Goes to them, right? And like I said, they're very warm and nice people. So in fact, a part of the dialogue was that they're thankful, for the money I'm sending back home and blah blah blah.
And you're like, right? What money am I sending back home? And then clink.
No, I'd already seen it happen once, and when it does tell you that's going to happen, so I already knew, and it happened to me at least once already. Well, actually, only once. Because I've only slept like once, so maybe that's why. Like it's all really been like 2 days for my character in that regard. Right. So anyway, because I don't think time travels if you travel in space. Like time travels when you're standing around, or if you sleep, or if you sit in a chair or whatever and wait for time to pass. But I don't think they record time passing when you're traveling through the ship. I don't think.
Yeah.
If not, they need to implement that, because I feel like they need to. But anyway, so I looked in the walkthrough and there was like, no, it's just those 3 things. But like I said, you can basically disable the trait by basically making them move out.
Get out of my house.
So I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm already like emotionally attached to them. But yeah, the Astral Lounge. I'm sitting up. The Astral Lounge. Yeah, I haven't been to Neon yet. That's like the cyberpunk.
Oh man.
Type of area, right?
If there's a place I wanted to be at, like if I was part of that universe, Neon would be my place.
Word?
That's just well, even with cyberpunk, that whole universe of cyber, steampunk, cyber, whatever you want to call it, cyberpunk, it's just amazing to me. I love all that type of universe, and that would be my type of place to be at.
Absolutely. Cyberpunk is a whole genre in and of itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and then the DLC's coming too, so I got to get that.
the DLC is coming, but the patch is already out that gives you all the improvements that came along with it.
Yeah.
That came out today. And they're saying a lot of positive things about it. Apparently they redid the character model of Keanu Reeves' character, Johnny Silverhand. Looks way better now. Looks way better. I've seen an A and B pic. I think I might have liked it or retweeted. So if you look at my Twitter account, you'll see it. That looked better. There's all types of different effects and stuff. I think they either increased the resolution to 800 to 1800p on the consoles now.
Oh wow.
So the resolution is higher, still keeping the same performance. They did a lot of optimization, so it's more, optimized performance-wise. So there seems to be like a, performance uptick. But on the consoles, they use that because the game was already locked 60 since the last couple of updates they did, right? So because they got more performance out of it by whatever tweaks they did, they reinvested that by raising the resolution to, I believe, 1800p. So it looks sharper, even though it's keeping the 60 frames and all the other effects and stuff that they did before. So yeah, Cyberpunk, man, that's the other game that I need to get back to Cyberpunk. Like after I'm at a good point, or if I finish the plot of Starfield, right?
Yeah.
And I get a couple of the goals here and there, I'm gonna go back to the Sea of Stars, beat that, and then my plan is to go to Cyberpunk. Maybe by this holiday, I'll be playing Cyberpunk again. I'll get the DLC then. But yeah, the update for Cyberpunk just hit Xbox a couple hours ago. It was a little late. They had a little bit of an issue getting the update to be up, but it's up now to download. So my Xbox should be downloading.
Such a good game.
Wrapping it up.
Cyberpunk's so good.
Yeah, such an awesome game. I always loved it from the beginning. A lot of the issues people had, like, I can understand, platform specific issues notwithstanding. I think a lot of people had always overblown the issues with that game. That game was always
I mean, I actually stopped playing it when it first. I bought it. I bought it when it released, and then the whole fiasco with there's no upgrade version and yada yada yada, and I played it for a good few hours, and then I stopped because it's just I can see where people were complaining, right?
Right.
Even though I wasn't complaining about it, I was just like, okay, I can see now what people are saying. I'm going to stop playing. Right, until the update comes out. Once the update came out, I actually started all over again. I didn't even continued my games. I deleted it and started all over from scratch just so I can get the whole thing as a whole, not just partial. Plus, it's been over a year since I played it, so I was like, okay, there's no point of trying to pick it up midway. Let's just start all over. And it turned out to be better that way.
I'm in the middle of a quest where I'm doing stuff to get what's her name to like me. So
who,
and I'm getting good progress.
Pan Am?
Yeah.
Or Judy?
Pan Am, not Judy. Pan Am, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in that right now. So that's where I left it at. I was right in the middle of some quest that was
Yeah. Oh, they got some great missions, man.
Oh yeah.
Cyberpunk. They got
There's
some
so
great.
much I haven't seen about it. And that DLC, I'll get the DLC. Then it'll be a great time. Maybe I'll have my video card by that point. I'll play them both on PC. I'll play Starfield and thing on PC if I'm still playing Starfield.
So you're playing Starfield on PC or the
No, I'm playing on Xbox, but I finally plan to get my video card in October, so I can play in 60 frames and all of that. And then you got cloud saves, and with Cyberpunk, that game is cloud save and cross-platform save.
Wait, which one?
Cyberpunk.
Oh, really?
Now Starfield as well, because it's an Xbox game. Of course, that's cloud save.
No, I'm talking about the cross-platform save.
Yeah, on Cyberpunk, it doesn't matter if you're on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC.
I didn't know that.
You can transfer your saves across all.
Now I can have a reason to play on the PlayStation. No, I won't.
Yeah, I was going with it, bro. I was going with it. What was I going to tell you?
Oh, no.
I curse you out on your own
No,
show?
I don't. No. I have the PlayStation for the exclusives. That's all. I'll with Spider-Man coming out, I'll get that not right away. I'm not paying $70 for it. I'll pay $30.
Oh, speaking of PlayStation, so let's talk about the leaks about the hardware, right?
Which one?
I want to talk about the Xbox first of all.
You mean the
series,
the new rumored leak crap that came out?
Yeah, it's not a rumor because it's definitely an official leak, but it's old news, based on what.
That's right, Bill. Spider-Man 2, baby, woo!
Right. Oh yeah, PlayStation fans. Hey man, I ain't got nothing against Spider-Man 2.
No, I don't.
It's
me
not
neither.
co-op and it's not the whole city. Other than that, it's looking good. In fact, that last showcase or whatever they had last week, it made it look a lot better than it had been. A lot of people were saying that. So from across the board too. So yeah, that if you're hyped for that, man, I'm happy for you, man. Have fun when that comes out. Everybody too. And I got the first two on PC. I got to get around to that, but that'll probably be in the new year after Cyberpunk.
No, yeah, I played the first two ones and I've enjoyed it. I mean, but for me, just like pretty much all the PlayStation games, it's been a one and done, and I move on. But I had fun with it. I'm not. You will hear me like take a jab at Spider-Man or anything, but no, I've enjoyed them.
Yeah. So what I was saying is.
So Brooklyn, is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah, Brooklyn. So there's two, right? There's the Series S, where it's got the same SoC Southbridge improvement. So the Southbridge is the part of a computer where all the input outputs, so like the Wi-Fi, the USB, the networking, right? It's all handled there. So they upgraded that on both the Series S and the X for better Wi-Fi, better Bluetooth, fast charging, right? At least on the Series X. I don't know if they confirmed that's in the Series S, but it's supposed to be the same upgrade, so it should be there. But the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth is definitely there. The Series X now looks kind of like the Trash Can Max.
Looks like an Alexa.
You remember those the Apple Max? Or right, the Alexa, like the big what do you call that? Like a cylindrical type of tube, right? So looks like that, but without a disk drive. But it's old slide, so we don't really know what's going on with it. And also, it's a 6 nanometer SoC, which is something I've been talking about for a while. That expect that to happen.
Looking at this concept, and let's say it's true, okay? I'm not a fan of the form.
Well, it is real. It's an official Microsoft,
Yeah. Outline, the slide.
Yeah, slide.
I'm not a fan of the cylinder look. I've never liked any device that had curves and roundness to it. The 360, the first one, came out with that curvy thing in the front. Never liked it. Just never did. Right? But it was about the games. That's what it was. You could hide it in the back of the TV or some cabinet. So it wasn't a big deal. But I've never enjoyed it. The PS3 had that huge humpback whale thing going. I never liked that. That was so awful. Right? What was the next one? Now you got the PlayStation with the stupid fins and everything. I don't like it. It just
the PlayStation 5 looks horrible.
Okay, it's just horrible. I mean, I don't know how anybody can defend that. It's just awful looking, right? But I like more symmetrical. Give me the rectangle Series X, perfect. That's the way I like it. It's minimal. It's not fancy, right? It's not trying to wow you with the look. It's just a normal box, what it should be. The same thing with the Series S, the same thing with the One X, right? Nice symmetrical form, and it does the job. Now you're trying to go into some kind of cylinder look, and I'm like, really? It's like, no, I'm not.
I really don't care one way or another. Like, I gotta say, when I first saw the Series X, I'm like, but at the same time, it could be way worse. It could have been the PS5.
Yeah.
It could have been countless other devices, prototype that we've seen or have come out, right? It's just a box, right? And in the end, does it really matter that much? You're going to put it in the shelf or whatever. Fine, right?
Yeah.
Even the PS5, I'd get over it. I just want one in black, right? And so the cylinder, I don't really like that. But, one aspect that a lot of people complain about is that it doesn't have a disk drive. But I feel like the way they have it designed, they could have a external, like disk drive, right?
Yeah, kind of like what they did with the HD drive.
Right, but it could stack under the system. Imagine that.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Because it's a cylinder shaped thing, but the height of a disk drive, right?
Yeah.
Slap that under it, right? So because there's a lot of kickback, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything Xbox does, even though PlayStation did it first from the freaking launch, right? And it had a digital system from the launch. Oh, Microsoft the bag. And of course, one of the biggest names to even start to complaining about that was MVG, right? Modern Vintage Gamer, right? Like,
MVG, dude, not MBG.
Not MVG. MVG. If you've seen his YouTube channel, he was one of the guys in the original Xbox era. He did Super Nintendo emulators. He did all types of emulation related stuff. He's a developer. A lot of games he's been working on lately are emulation related because they're like retro remakes or like a port of a classic game.
Yeah.
And so they're emulated empowered or the Shantae games. Stuff like he's an actual developer. He does videos about overclocking the Switch and hardware and security. Very interesting channel, and he has the point of view of physical media is important, and we discussed this many times. I feel it's more of a matter of the medium than people not caring about physical.
Oh, I heard you talking the other day on that space the other day. You were like going really deep into it.
Right. And I've mentioned this many times. It's about the media itself. A spinning plastic disc isn't what we need. It's just you can't even run the game off of it. You have to use it to install the game.
Yeah.
And then you have to keep it in there as a key to prove that you did it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have CD keys, we have SSD cards, we have all these other ways. And fair to the points that everybody gave me last night on Unlimited Show about the cost, right? When it's niche, it's expensive. And physical media is now niche. You got to understand the position you're in if you're going to advocate for something. You want physical media to remain, you got to have realistic expectations on the options available. And Other Zinc brought up the point of cost, and he's 100% right. Nothing anybody said was wrong, but then you got to pay that cost because you're the odd man out. In the UK now, it's 90%. Here in America, they're saying it's closer to 80%. I wouldn't be surprised if they would do the numbers now. It's actually 90, right? If it's not 90 now, it will be soon. So that's the overwhelming majority of people are on digital. Even in music, there are probably more people who rock vinyl nowadays, now that it's back in vogue, than people who rock CDs.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, because
like everybody who moved on to CDs don't use CDs anymore.
When I've read articles or watched even a video that talks about vinyl, people love the vinyl audio.
Right.
They always talk good about how the audio is so clean. It might be CD quality, but they just love the sound of the vinyl for some reason. I can't, like, to me it's just music is music and whatever, play wherever it sounds good. But to have that ear that says I like vinyl music, like I don't have that, so I can't relate to what they're talking about,
Well, what I can relate to is the complete opposite. I remember in 87. So I remember in the 80s when you would buy a sound system, it would be like this whole thing in a glass cabinet.
Man, we used to have it in my house. Yeah.
Like the 2-deck, cassette player. And then you had like the 6 CD changer. You had the amp part and all these things, right? So my brother bought this thing from Kenwood, right? He still has it, right? And so the first CD I ever heard was the Michael Jackson Bad album. Now I'd heard this album on tape. I'd heard it on vinyl, like the whole album, right? When I heard it on CD in '87, I was 7, and by the end of October, when I think I heard it, I think it was already 8. And I remember distinctly noticing the sound quality difference, right?
Yeah.
And I can understand that a lot of people might think, I know it's a complete tangent, but I just want to say this. I know a lot of people say because of like warm and all that, but there's also the popping, right?
Yeah.
That vinyl does and all these other things. It's just what they kind of should do. I think that they need to look at what Laserdisc did for audio, for recording video. Did you know that Laserdisc, like the audio was CD tracks, right? They use CD technology to record the audio, but the video was actually analog, even on the disc itself.
Yeah.
Like the pits and lands were more analog than anything else. So if they had did that with audio, that would have been like a laser version of
those big laser discs you're talking about.
Right, like the CDs that were the size of physical records, vinyl, right?
Yeah, they were big.
Right? So if they had used that technology instead of you encoding a video, you encode audio with that same method.
Yeah,
it would have had the warmth of vinyl, but the perfection of a CD without the pops and stuff. And in hindsight, I'm wondering why that never happened. But either way, it's probably because they made CDs instead. But you're right. But yeah, so for those of you who like vinyl, I'm not knocking it. That's not for me, although I respect it in the DJ route. But even DJs don't use that anymore, right? But it just goes to show, as much as all that is, I'm saying against vinyl, it's still more used in CDs in 2023, right? But that's mainly because it's a Vogue retro type of thing that a lot of people like now, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody else is digital on everything. It's affected everything.
Yeah.
Movies, music, your pictures. Okay, who takes a picture with film anymore, right? And even if you do, there's only few places that develop film. Like pharmacies still technically do it, but a lot don't.
Oh, remember you go to the pharmacy and you have to ask for your pictures, and they have rows, a cubby holes, just rows of developed film. You don't see that anymore. You don't see that.
Well, if you go to pharmacy like CVS, if you want your passport, you gotta go, there to take your picture.
Well,
right?
it's not what it is compared to those back in the days,
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like usually when they have that, they also have the facilities, to develop film. Still in 2023, if you use film, right? Because it's still, just like vinyl, it's still a thing that's Vogue retro. But my point being is, even though it's possible to do it, most people don't. We've moved on for that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking anybody who likes physical media. As a person who's into retro, and if you follow my Twitter account, I'm always liking stuff like remakes of games and stuff from times gone past. When they releasing like the Street Fighter 2 animated movie from '94. You remember that scene with Chun-Li when she's taking a shower and being attacked by Vega, right? Like it's about to come out in 4K on Ultra HD Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna get that digital. I'm buying the disc, which also, and when you buy the disc, you get a code for the digital as well, right? And that's exactly my point. That's what they need to do with these games. If movies could do it, games could do it.
Yeah.
Right? Get the disc, the code's in the box, and you redeem it to get the digital version.
Yeah, but they don't. For some reason, they don't see it that way. Yeah, they don't see it that way. No.
And the plastic disc needs to be moved on from anyway, because a lot of these games, the 1.0, even if it's on the disc, which oftentimes it's not, even if you get the game on day one, there's a patch that's day one that makes what's on the disc irrelevant anyway. It's already out of date.
It does.
So it's just a lot of complexities, and there's solutions to it. But as others said to me, it's expensive. But I think the answer to that is you got to understand the niche that you're in now. You're the niche. Mm-hmm. So it's going to cost you more. It's going to be more hassle to keep up with those Joneses. And I'm not envious of anybody who has to suffer through that. And if that's what you choose to do, I don't knock the reasons why. I support you in that. And I do that for certain things I care about. Yeah. And like I give the perfect example with Halo Infinite. Knowing the disc was blank off rip, right? The 1.0 isn't even on the disc. I always talk about these stubs that you download for 300 megs.
Yeah.
That's what's on the disc for Halo Infinite. Just the stub to say that, hey, this is the Halo Infinite disc. So if he has it on his hard drive, launch the game, which is the only time I put it inside my Xbox the first time I launched Halo.
Yeah.
Because, Game Pass, I downloaded the game.
Yeah.
And then to launch the game, what I did was, because I'd never put anything in my drive up until that point, I put in the disc to launch the game to see if the disc drive worked. And the second time I used it was when I got the Top Gun Maverick, right? Popped in the disc, and that was it. So physical media for me is dead. Physical media for most people is dead, effectively. But for those of you who care for it, not speaking out against it, you got to understand the position you're in and understand that you have to pay or either. But the way things are going now, it's gone. But then one last thing I want to say is something I tweeted about, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
Of all the platforms that has the most preservation, right? That's the PC. And PC has been digital. PC went digital first.
Years ago, yeah.
Archive game preservation platform. Hell, that's the platform that preserves everything else.
Yeah.
All the other game platforms, music, movies, everything. That's what the PC does. It preserves everything else. So I understand where people are coming from. Trust me, I do, because I feel the same way. But it is what it is.
No, I get it.
You got to move on, and if you want to be in that niche, you have to understand that it's going to come with complexities, cost, and time.
And we've talked about this before, like many times, about physical and how it's a dying thing. Will it still be around? Yeah, it's going to be around. You know, just like DVDs are still around, CDs are still around. You know, even though a lot of people have gone to, you know, MP3 players or their phones or streaming or something, they're still out there. Somebody's buying them. That's why they're still out there.
But MP3 players are even niche. Now we use our phones for that.
Yeah,
right?
we got software. Exactly. But I live in in reality. I know that digital is the way to go now, and I've been doing it since the end of the 360 era. Right?
Yeah.
I started doing that at the end of the 360 era. Right? The last couple of years before the one came out, I started going digital and getting rid of some of my physical stuff. I only picked up physical stuff if they had a cool looking steelbook case, right? Or they had a nice statue, just like Titanfall, right? It was the only times I picked up something. So I get it, but they have to accept the fact that it's a dying thing. Okay, you're not gonna find too many of them anymore. You know, it's you just gotta accept it. They want to put up this big fight over something you know you're gonna lose. You know, it's like, well, yeah, I gotta fight for the principle. Your principle sucks. You're gonna lose. You know.
Yep.
But Tech, you know, people always have to fight, right? It's like they need to find a sense of purpose and fight for something.
Yeah.
You know, whether it looks foolish to everybody else, they're gonna fight for it. Whether everybody else has already moved this way, they have to be the people to fight against the tide.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Like you guys mentioned, all the old media that still exists, like they'll bring back things like vinyl because they know that there's somebody that's going to overpay for it, right?
Exactly.
Because when things are a niche, then you can charge more for it because they're like specialty items.
Oh yeah.
Right? But see, for now, Walmart's selling vinyl because they have. Then that means that you can sell them a brand new radio player because the majority of people don't even have a player for the vinyl that they're selling.
No, and now they stock them. I've seen them at the stores. You know.
Well, yeah, when you go to Walmart, they got these new radios or new record players.
Yep.
They got these little record players. They're like $99.
Yep.
And so that means that they get to sell you some music that you could just download or listen to on a streaming service because you want to be different. You know, so they can sell you all those things. But digital, I mean, the only thing that I don't like is that they really could take it away if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Even though most people don't read the EULA, you're not going to be happy if they take it away from you. Just because I hear a lot of people say, you don't own it. Including myself, I say you don't own it.
Yeah.
You
But
don't own it with the disc either.
but the thing is, if they take it away from you, you're not going to be happy about it.
Right.
That's the only thing. Like I don't like. It's like even though, but now you can't even like. I think PlayStation still sells discs with the data on them, but Xbox, like you can't. It's just a disc. It's basically a key.
Yeah.
A key.
There's no data on the disc. You because like in the past you were able to go offline and upload it faster than you would be on the internet.
Yeah.
Now you need the internet.
Mhm.
But digital has already taken over. It's just now we're to the point where people are able to buy storage big enough to house these games. Because like you said, 360. I was digital as soon as they started making consoles with a big enough storage that I can put a game on it. Because these games started getting huge, and then the hard
Yes.
drives from like 360 and stuff. You had to buy the bigger ones later, so it wasn't really.
But then they
You
added external support, and that even
right.
even
That's what I
pushed
said.
me.
Then they added it.
Yeah.
That's when. But like Xbox One, that's when I went digital. I mean, I've been
All the way. Me too.
six the same way. PC for 20 plus years probably. So we're used to being all digital. Because like back in the day, you'd buy a disc, and the disc was basically just a key.
But I mean, everybody
Mhm.
puts up a
And then
fight
eventually they
when
stopped selling the disc.
they see the other entertainment stuff already gone to digital years ago.
It's
Right.
not everybody. It's a loud minority.
Well,
That's
loud
what it
minority,
is.
yes.
Everybody else is
The loud
does not
minority.
care.
Yes.
Everybody else does not care, so they're not saying anything. So the only voices you hear on the subject are the people who care, and so they'll act like they're being robbed or whatever. But I
Whenever people
understand,
know
I
they're
don't
the
knock it.
underdog, they're band together.
Yeah, right. And they make it louder and a bigger deal than it really is. But at the same time, I don't knock it. But once again, the solution to all of this and the thing that always solves it, no matter what, frankly, is piracy.
Yeah.
Because they cut through all that red tape and give you all the files and everything. Like, if you try to emulate the PS3 or the 360 or generations before that, man, you go on archive.org, it's all there with the patches, every patch that came out from 1.1 to 1.2 to whatever. So if you want a certain version of the game because they had certain exploits or whatever, you can go back to that specific version before they patch it out or whatever, right? Like I was telling you earlier about that suit in Starfield that's in the lounge. They patched out the little exploit where you can put the little cursor right between the things and pick out the suit, right?
Yeah.
They patched that out now, right? But if it was like back in the day and that did, you can get eventually when the generation was over and the pirates took over everything, they would have an archive of all the patches, and you can just get the 1.0 version and play it to that point, get the suit, and then patch it, with the patch.
Nice. That's just like me going back and getting that rewards Android app.
Right.
Get the last version, which is the most up to date, because they're not even available at the store. That app for the points. So I guess it's the same, right, for the games.
Mm-hmm. But see, going back to what we were talking about, because if you start talking about Starfield, you already know that the whole show's going to take a turn.
Right.
But Xbox laid this out 2013, 2012, and people revolted.
Oh yeah.
And people revolted, right? And the same thing with like the Xbox Live Gold. I said, you guys didn't win anything. Like, let them do what they want to do and then decide if it's for you or not. Because the only thing that's going to really make them course correct is if they lose money. Microsoft has their reasons for trying to direct everything digital. And let's not fool ourselves. PlayStation was complicit. The whole entire industry is complicit in going digital. Why?
It was Sony
because they see no money when these games are resold. This is why EA was trying to be one of the forerunners, and they met so much resistance. I don't know about you guys. Y'all don't play sports games. You play baseball, but did y'all ever play Madden?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember back in the day, Madden would put an internet code on the disc.
Yes.
Right? And once you use that internet code, that disc was pretty much worthless to resell.
Really? I don't remember that.
That was the thing in gaming for like a couple years in general. Like you need the online key or whatever to be able to actually play the game.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
online.
who doesn't play sports games online? But see, once you enter that key on your console, you can resell the game, but whoever buys that game will not be able to play online without the online key.
Unless they buy the key. And I'll the key.
How long did that last?
Not long at all. Probably a year. I don't remember it going to the next year, but I stopped playing Madden after that anyway. So you may be right.
And what years were this?
This was the one with Calvin Johnson on the cover.
Yeah, it was in the 360
generation.
For like
I want to say it was PS4, bro.
No, it was a generation. It was definitely 360. It was definitely 360. I'm pretty sure it was 360.
I'll look it up when I'm not talking. But like, Microsoft has their reasons, right? The whole entire industry is behind this. Why? Because they can control the media, they can control its monetization. Xbox wanted to do this a long time ago. We're not going to stop it. Complaining is not going to change anything. They want to go digital. They want to control their media. That's what they want to do, and it's going to happen. So people complain about all this. Like I've heard people waiting a year for limited run games. Like like how committed do you have to be to physical to wait a year for one game?
Yeah.
Right? You could have bought it digitally and been playing it, but they're
And
gonna
then
go
get
digital.
and then get the physical after if you really love the
They're
game,
gonna
like
go
the Turtles.
digital.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And that's why you see PlayStation, right? All their plans are a digital PlayStation 5. And the new disc will not work with the old version of the PS5 digital. You have to buy a new PlayStation 5, the one compatible with the disc, right? They don't want to sell discs, right? You cut out the middleman. You don't have to pay Walmart, Target, GameStop, whatever, whoever else is out there, Best Buy. You're selling these games direct and you're selling them for the same price that physical's going for.
Yeah.
So that's more
Yeah.
money in their pockets. They're gonna go digital, and if people are gonna buy what they want. You give me some because I was just listening to people complain about you people are stupid. You have Game Pass and then you pay $30 so that you can play a game early. The only reason why you can say this is because there's something that you don't really want to play yet.
Yeah.
Once that one game comes that you really want to play, then you're gonna be the stupid person. You just might not have wanted to do it for Starfield, Diablo, or Call of Duty, but there'll be a game one day that comes along and you're gonna be that stupid person. So you can't really criticize people for their buying habits. But what I'm irritated with is people keep complaining about the digital move. They're gonna slowly direct gamers to digital. That's why they're slowly teaching people cloud, right? Cloud. That way nothing is sold, right? You can just go to the cloud.
Yep.
People want to buy consoles, we're going to sell you diskless version. Why? And I've seen so many people say that I haven't even used my disk drive on my Series X. Why?
Yeah.
It's so easy to just get the games, download them, you buy them, and you download them right from there. You don't have to even get off your couch.
Yep.
So
Really?
the digital revolution is going to happen. Go ahead.
Really? So that example I gave about Halo earlier, I think you already have popped in when I was saying it, right? The other reason why I popped in that Halo disc, right, was to test my drive. Because remember, there were a couple of people having issues with their drive, right? And there was a little bit of a talk about that around that time, right? Because so few people had used their drive when they finally did, then they found out that they were having issues with their drive. A couple of people here and there, right? And so that was part of the reason, right? I just wanted to know if my drive worked. And so when I put in that Halo disc, I looked at it for a second, waiting to see what would happen, hoping my drive was good because I never used it up until that point. I had no reason to. My games are digital. It goes to what you're saying right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we just gotta. I'm not gonna say we. Us gamers gotta stop complaining. I don't remember this much backlash about music. I think people were happy to deal with the convenience.
No, I
And it's
I
like
think people didn't fight back. From what I remember, nobody made an outrage over digital music because now
know why?
Now they can carry a little device, whether it was an MP3 player or not back then, right? This little device, and it can carry thousands of songs that I like. Not just
that. I think that's what I was about to say, Tech.
Yeah.
It's like they had a cool device that people felt like they had to have to usher in the movement.
Yes.
It's like we've been playing on CD, so these people who are physical, they're gonna fight about it. Whereas there's no cool new device that makes you feel like, wow, it's super convenient and I can carry it with me.
Yeah.
But then you got the handhelds coming, and it's not gonna have the same adoption rate.
No.
But that should be something that helps people understand that digital is more feasible than trying to use storage devices, be it SD cards. Because if you want a terabyte of SD storage, it's like $150.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a good one, you can because like the ones with the Nintendo branding, they're like $70 for 256.
Dude, a terrible brand. I mean, terrible pricing.
And it's just Nintendo branding. It's just the Nintendo.
And people are stupid enough to buy those. So it's like, I won't buy a Nintendo brand. It's like, dude, get a different brand. You get double the storage for the same price, probably.
Yeah, but I wish that they had come out with this before with 2 terabytes. instead of now. But like I got 2 terabytes of SSD extra storage, so I got 3 terabytes on the series. So only thing I'm looking for is the controller.
So
yes,
what?
And plus, I got a Starfield. Plus, I got a Starfield wrap coming next month.
So
right,
would you guys buy this? Say if this was out, would you guys get it?
the system?
Yeah.
No, I don't need it because it doesn't do anything for me. The one advantage it has is that fast charge, right? So when I get that controller, I guess we'll talk about that next, right? So when I get that controller, I'm gonna want the fast charging, but at the same time, I'll trade the fast charging for not having to have to buy a whole new system, because that whole new system isn't offering me anything.
No, I wouldn't buy it either.
Having to buy it, right? It's like when for example, I had the 360 at launch, right? And I never upgraded to any of the ones that had the HDMI. I never did that. I never even upgraded past the default 20 gig hard drive that it came. Was it even 20 gigs?
I think it was 20.
I forget. I think it was 20 gigs, right? Because as you said earlier, eventually they started using the supporting USB sticks and hard drives and stuff.
Well, they had those little memory sticks to get you started. But then eventually there was games that required the hard drive.
Required, right, yeah. Right. That required the hard drive. But those memory sticks were mainly for the Xbox Live Arcade game, right? And up until Castlevania Symphony of the Night, there was a file limit on those games. It was for two reasons. It wasn't just because, they didn't have like those memory cards of higher capacity, which they didn't, although they could have made them. It was more of Xbox Live Arcade was more of a thing where they put limitations on purpose to foster creativity, right? Because it was a retro style of like platform for games.
But it was also good for as an entry level, just like the S is.
Right, an entry level. So when they eventually, supported those USB sticks or just USB drives in general to use as storage, I never had to. The only reason I bought a 360S after I already owned the Xbox One, by the way, was to finally, and I still haven't done it, right?
Yeah.
Although I set up to sit there and download all my content into that 360, right? And then upload all the saves, right, into the xCloud, right? So when I'm playing, the backward compatible games that I have on my Series X, like Radiant Silvergun and stuff like that, that I like to play on Daytona USA, stuff like that, it would have all those saves and progress already there.
Yeah.
But it's been all these years and I've yet to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I went out and got Radiant Silvergun because you keep talking about it.
Oh, you did?
Well, I bought that one along with a couple others because they were on sale.
Oh, they gave away that game on Games for Gold like 2 or 3 times. You shouldn't have had to buy it.
You know something? Games of Gold.
It's gone. It's gone.
I have to make
now.
Yeah, it is gone. But I have to make a conscious effort to let me go check it out. It's just like PlayStation Plus.
But he makes a conscious effort to buy the game instead. I'm sure they're very thankful.
It's like PlayStation Plus. Like I don't check it out, but PlayStation is very good about, and I've noticed that Xbox is up their game too. PlayStation is very good about letting you know something that you wish listed is on sale. They send you messages. You get notifications through your phone. Yeah. You get notifications while you're playing.
Yeah, it's true.
Nintendo
does too. Nintendo's very good at that.
Yes,
Nintendo. I don't buy stuff on Nintendo.
I've wish list some games on Nintendo, and I get bombarded with email. Like, hey, your game is on sale. We saw that you have this on your wish list. It's on sale. And
I buy physical on Nintendo.
Yeah.
But see, it makes sense though because they have cartridges.
Yeah.
Right, but
even and next to no storage.
Yes, but I have an issue with that too because a lot of the games are too big for the highest capacity cartridge, and so only half.
You have to put it on a memory card,
and then you have to re-download the other half on the internet, and then re-download. I think the whole game onto the memory card, and you just use the cartridge as a key.
But it's not too small. Is that it will cost more money to get it bigger?
That's the cost thing once again. So it's just like in the
end, the first one that did that was the Rockstar game.
Yeah.
LA Noire.
LA Noire, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah, and then with 2K, you had to have the cartridge and then download like another few gigs on the console.
Yep. And but we went real left. So getting back to the hardware
Oh man, we
situation. So
still
we talked
talking
about
about physical and stuff, and then it coincides with the Xbox bringing this all digital cylinder or cylindrical box.
well,
Yeah,
we
Gotta
were
think
already
about
yeah.
that,
talking
bro.
about
No,
we were
I don't
already
like the
talking about
shape. I
that.
don't like the shape at all.
Yeah, you were saying
It can't be an Xbox and come out as a cylinder.
No, they can't.
yeah, it has to be
I
a
just don't
box
like it.
shape. It gotta be rectangular or square type shape.
I mean, if they would have kept the rectangle shape but shorter, I mean, I would have been all for it.
Yeah,
I've seen that picture where
but
they take like the Series X and they cut
They half
and,
it.
and they
Yeah,
cut down the half by height and it's all white.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that
I like that.
that mock up.
but Tech,
That's not so
you
bad.
asked us, I answered it, and then Sick answered. Would you buy it? Would you
No,
buy? Do you have an? Yeah,
no,
right.
I wouldn't buy it. First, I'm looking at the specs here of whatever they upgraded, and I mean, I see nothing wrong with
There's
what I
nothing
have now.
superior about it. Right. Like
It has better
what you have-
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But mine's
But
plugged in
I'm
directly.
Ethernet.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so we're all
Exactly.
Ethernet. So
Yeah, we're all Ethernet. See, that's the thing about it. Like, usually with these consoles, like the launch version is the best version. It has the most features. It's rare in a generation where like the successor versions have
Mhm.
features
Yeah.
that the original did not, right? And like the 360 had HDMI eventually. That didn't matter to me because I was using VGA on a monitor that used VGA, right? And I could get that, and it works just fine because it's just 1080p. It didn't really matter at that point. But now everything is HDMI. Everything is HDMI. So of course that's what you get. You don't
Yeah.
have no analog options. You don't need that now. We're at a point where that doesn't matter.
I mean,
What can this new system really offer? It uses less power. It's smaller. It has better Wi-Fi, but it's a console. You should be plugged in, right? It doesn't have a disk drive, but that's niche, as we talked about. There's nothing truly important that I need about it. And the only thing is, it's 2 terabytes for the same price.
yeah.
So if you didn't get an Xbox day one, and it's supposed to come out next year, supposedly, right? When it comes out next year, if you don't have an Xbox yet, you can get that one, and you'll have 2 terabytes. Me, I had to get my Series X with the 1 terabyte off rip, and I got it that day from Microsoft on launch. It was together. When you look at my YouTube account, and you see that video I posted. Boom, that's what I had from day one. You have the 2 terabyte. You said a realist, right? So you have 3 altogether. I've always wanted to get more of these SD cards. These SSD cards, but once again,
they're very
price.
expensive.
They're expensive.
Like this one. This bad boy. 512, baby. Woo! They're rare.
Yeah, they're rare.
Yeah, I tried to get my daughter one. She traded for a controller.
I saw another one the other day at Walmart. So it's there. The 512.
Yeah, they have them on sale. It's like people bring them back. Like they think it's a gig for $99. Like, what are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I see a lot of them being returned.
Oh,
But-
really?
Yeah, and when I see,
I mean, there's
yeah,
only like a 512
the
like
one-
right smack on the front.
Well, see, this was at Target. So like, when she was complaining about not having enough storage on that Series S, I said, well, get that 512. It's not like y'all play that many games.
Yeah.
The only reason why my boy has a terabyte on his is because he has my old card.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, "What can I have one of those?" I was like, that's like $200.
Yeah.
But no, like, there's no way. But this is what it's like when people talk about this new console, they speak like people are done buying Xbox.
Yes.
They speak like Xbox doesn't have 4 AAA games coming next year, with Call of Duty acquisition being announced sometime this year, right? And then there's a grand stage where they'll probably elaborate on the new relationship between them and Activision Blizzard, right? So people keep saying, "Oh, I don't need it." What are y'all are stupid for thinking about that? Because guys like Shane G say, "Yeah, man, I want that," and it's like, cool if you want it, but stop acting like people are going to be done buying Xboxes. Like, Xbox is going to continue to make games. Xbox is going to continue to market. Xbox is going to increase their marketing and let everybody know what they own now, what's under their control. Let everybody know that Microsoft is the new home of Activision. Let everybody know, again, that Microsoft is the new home of Bethesda. People are going to want to buy Xboxes. And the people that are new to the ecosystem, the people that are buying it as a complimentary console or whatever, they're going to be treated. because they come right through the gate.
Yeah.
And they're going to be trained to be digital, right?
Yep.
Because they're coming in digital, because these are 2 digital consoles. So you have to make a conscious effort to go say, I'm going to take a disc. Another thing that this extra storage does, it makes you think. You can have the OG Xbox Series X right here with a disc for $599, or you can get a whole 2 terabytes, 1.8 terabytes on this new console, right? And then it's going to be sold as new. This is a revision. This is new. So people are not done buying Xbox. It's not gonna people are going to be buying Xboxes, whether PlayStation fans believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people complaining about the new PlayStation. It's not for you.
Yeah.
It's for the people that they think that they can snatch from Nintendo and Xbox, and vice versa for Xbox. So like that, this is why it makes sense. This is why like we shouldn't have too much to say, because it makes no sense for us to go buy a new console just to have an extra terabyte when we should have that by now. We've been playing our Xboxes since 2020.
Yeah.
So it's for these new people. Xbox is banking that, because if you looked at those leaked documents, the number one pillar in gaming is the console.
Yep.
And this is what I've been saying this whole time when they were like, legal lovers say, oh, they're talking about this. No, it's the console. I went on, what is it? Unlimited. Told him it's the console. Because the console is a controlled environment. You control the prices. You get money for doing nothing. That's the downside of having a streaming service, right? This is what I put on Twitter. Nobody really saw it. Google showed us gaming's future. They just won't be around to take part in it. Where you go online and there's online storefronts and you buy these digital games and nothing's physical. You're paying $70 for the right to play these games. No hardware involved. That's what's going to happen in the future. And hey, I'm just hope I around a little bit longer so that I can see how gaming takes shape from where when we were kids to what it becomes, and our kids are going to be playing these new things. But
right.
Physical's going out of the door.
I don't think my son has even popped in a disc into the Xbox. It's all been
because you're digital. But see, if you were physical, your son will be.
But I do got some physical games, but not a lot.
Right.
You're not the majority, though.
Not the majority, no.
Yeah, because like I got Starfield, and I got my cred stick. I didn't even activate my cred stick.
What does it give you?
No, huh?
What is it?
It's the game on the stick.
Oh,
it's like it's a replica of the cred sticks from the game.
Yeah. But I mean, like, what was on the game? I guess the game code.
What does the stick do?
The game code on the cred stick.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
but since you have Game Pass and you bought the early version, you didn't have to. So you didn't buy Constellation version, did you?
No.
Okay, because it seems like you don't understand what I'm talking about. In the Constellation, you get a watch, you get a replica of the cred stick. It's nice, it's weighty, it's quality.
Well, I really saw that. Cool. I saw the cred stick. And I thought it was just like the cred stick. You know what it is?
No, but on the etched
back
in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's etched in the 25 character code. Mm-hmm, it's nice.
Oh, I was thinking you were going to say it was like a USB stick with the game content on it.
I thought it was, because I saw something like that it was USB, but it's not. It's something that you have to type in.
Okay, so I didn't I didn't look into it too much with this consoles business and a new controller, just because I hate leaks. I really don't care for them. Right. It doesn't excite me. I want to hear it directly from the company, even though these probably are official documents. I don't really care for them until Xbox themselves tell me, not some schmo that's on Twitter, right? But when I'm looking here on the stats on the left side, play anywhere. What does that got to do with anything? What's
going on is, okay, so we've been talking a lot about like the little details between the Elite 2 and the default series controllers, right?
Yeah.
The Elite 2 controller is slightly behind, besides just, the screenshot line, right? There's other features I can never remember to look up what the details are. They're minor, but they add up, right? So this controller has a lot of features that we know, it's it's got the DualSense functionality with the haptics and all that, and the haptics are really
I'm giving
audio
DualSense
drive.
credit for that, bro. Nintendo did it first.
I'm just saying the dual. I'm saying the way the DualSense has it, right, is
No,
slightly
hey,
different. Even
I'm
though
just irritated with y'all because y'all giving Sony credit for something that they had no part in creating.
well, they had no part in creating. That was all immersion. It wasn't Xbox or Nintendo or or Sony. It was immersion did all of this, right? So I'm just saying, okay. So the main thing I've been talking about is that the Xbox controller doesn't have, the DualSense functionality, doesn't have gyro and all that stuff, which everybody else has, even Steam has, except for Xbox. So okay, great, they have that too, right? We've already had Bluetooth on the Xbox controllers. Now it has the more recent Bluetooth, right? And the Xbox Wireless 2 is like, I think, an updated version of the 2.4 gigahertz wireless thing that they've been using. So maybe it has less latency or whatever. We'll see how that goes. But the direct to cloud is a copy of a feature that's in the Stadia controllers. Remember, the Stadia controllers
And
had
Luna too,
direct
right?
connection to Luna 2,
Luna
actually,
too,
I
right?
believe so.
So
Yes, I
100.
believe so. Right, so Stadia
Undo.
controllers had that first, where the controller has a direct Wi-Fi connection to the internet, right?
Your
So you
router.
control to your router, right? To get to the internet, right? So it doesn't have the extra hop of going through the console and then through the router and then out to the internet, right? Because if you're playing cloud games, right, it's all in the controller, and it has some mobile app features where, because you can pick up the controller and it wakes up, and most likely you won't need a console at all. Well, of course you don't need a console at all in terms of doing cloud, right? Because there's all these apps built into TVs and all this other stuff. But the smarts for like the game accessories, managing all that stuff is in the controller basically, right? So pairing is instant as fast as it ever was before, but faster. But the Wi-Fi part, where it's one less hop for the cloud gaming, is great. The thumbsticks are replaceable, they're more durable, stuff like that. Although a lot of this stuff I'm sure came from the Elites, and they're putting it into this, and it's got that grip, right? It's on more of the controller now. The buttons are quiet there, all this stuff, the accelerometer with the gyro stuff I've been talking about, all that stuff is there. So it's up to date with the rest of the industry, because the rest of the industry has all this stuff in their controllers, and Xbox didn't have a lot of these things. So now it's more up to date.
The rest of the industry has what?
The
parts?
The gyro stuff.
Yeah.
The gyro stuff,
okay.
with the accelerometer.
Yeah, everything but that and the Ally.
Right. Well, actually, the
even
Ally
the Steam
has
Deck has
gyro,
a
but
gyro.
it's not really on like that. But it is there. You just have to enable it, and it's a little bit of a hoop to get through, but it's not too serious.
It ain't no gyro.
Because
look, because the Switch, I mean not the Switch, the Switch
Steam
too.
Deck.
But the Steam Deck, that thing it's let's say it's for PC players, and PC players love the gyro.
Right. So this will bring that up to snuff with everybody else. So this is what me and you have been talking all this time about, Tech.
Yeah.
That the Xbox controllers need to have all those features in one. So when they're coming out with an elite version of this, not only will I buy this controller as soon as it comes out, I'm buying the elite version. And of course, XDL, Xbox Developer Labs, both on the console and these controllers are going to be on XDL, so you can design it however you want. Now, of course, the controller has nothing new, but the console as well. But see, that was the plan back then. This is old stuff. All of this leaks from like 2020, 2023. Who knows how they changed? So Xbox Design Labs, right?
Yeah.
Was a thing we heard about pretty early on, and they had plans to put it with the consoles. But who knows when they came up with the idea of the wraps? Because I was saying from the moment I saw the Series X, I hope they do like the fathead, style of stickers. I always mention that.
You did say that. Right? I remember you saying that.
The sports stuff. And now we have the wraps. I just don't want the Starfield wrap. I want like a Halo wrap, other stuff like that. I'm waiting on that. I'm definitely buying
Gears
it,
one
right?
would be nice.
Or a Gears one, but there's all types. And it's not stuck to one system. You can get different ones all the time.
Whatever your mood is in that day.
Yeah, whatever your mood.
But you know what? You know what? That's like the end of the custom console, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
and that's great.
how or the special edition console, because like like they came out with a Starfield wrap. But if you have
Yeah.
everything in XDL and you just so happen to want a Gears console, that should be available to you. Like
Well, I'm sure they're
you
gonna
should be
still
able to
make
take
them.
the design.
Well, because those special edition consoles are just that. They're special edition. They're limited. They only make a couple of them, and then that's it, right? So
Well, I'm talking about, like the Halo one,
yeah, right,
but it wouldn't be like people wouldn't be going so crazy because like I really wanted one of those because I never go out of my way to find a special edition console. Like I got the
mm.
Scorpio. That was the only one that I ever got. But like the one that says Project Scorpio
Yeah,
on the
that's
One
the
X.
day one.
But
Yeah,
like if they're able to have it in Xbox Design Lab where you can select different designs and game themes as one, that would be huge. But that would be another
right,
thing that makes people who already have an Xbox buy this new Xbox because they're able to customize.
right, right. So, but still, that's very niche. Not everybody's gonna buy a whole new console for that. And this is why I
No,
feel
no,
like they're
no.
probably gonna stick with this
Of course.
special edition stuff. But they could do the design lab thing, just like what they do with these controllers, where it's custom to your specifications, and they don't need to make a whole line of limited edition on Gears or Halo or whatever systems, right?
Yeah.
It can just be design labbed out and then one of one, right? Made to your specifications how you want it and colors and whatever. So that's always great, and I just love the wraps too because and it and I think the wraps brings more doubt into the whole cylinder look of this cost reduced version. Like I said, this is old stuff. Plans probably have changed, and this is what Phil Spencer alluded to if he didn't say outright. This is old information, and he can't wait to share with us when the time comes. Right?
Yeah.
We don't know because because the system only dropped down to 6 nanometers. Right? I was expecting 5. I didn't expect 4 because Apple has a monopoly on 4. Right? And maybe next year, 4 will open up, to other devices and things. Although the ROG Ally is using 4 nanometer chip, right? The Z1 Extreme and the Z1 is 4 nanometers. So it's not like there's not other manufacturers that have access to 4 nanometer.
So when you say Apple has a monopoly, they base are they the ones who make it?
No. They pay TSMC a lot to get like the lion's share.
Priority?
Right.
Okay.
Priority of the limited production because it's a new process that they just came out with, or
Yeah.
recently anyway, right? So they
No,
have
no,
priority.
because like you said monopoly, that was just my first time hearing that. I was like, whoa, really?
Yeah, not a complete monopoly. I'm sorry, you use a better choice of words there. Like they have the priority, so they have like
Okay.
I think it's like 80 or 90% of all the production early on. So a 6 nanometer wasn't really blowing my skirt at all because it's like 20% saving, which is cool, especially if you're in Europe right now. We know energy costs are high and all of that. That's great still.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, when you have it connected in your house,
more. Right, I would have liked to see more. But the other thing about it is, even when it's in its sleep mode, it's using even less power than ever before. They really did optimize that really low from what they're. And this is an old slide, by the way, that apparently they optimized it that much on 6 nanometer. Imagine if they did 5, right? Like 5 has been out for a while. I think they got at least get that. But who knows? Maybe by the time they finally do the on this,
But it's always about
version,
cost when it comes to console.
it's all about cost. Right, and
Yeah.
there's always the balance with these processes because the smaller the nanometer, the more chips they get on one wafer, and the wafer is usually a set price, give or take, right? So if they get more of the chips on each wafer, they're saving money because each chip is costing them less money, right? And thus, they can recoup
So the small,
savings.
are the smaller chips more expensive? Here they are.
No, they're not because the wafer itself that they're cut from is generally the same price. If a wafer A,
Well, I know about the wafer being the same price, but I'm talking about the actual chips.
because you get more chips out of the same wafer that cost the same, the chips per chip cost less.
But it's smaller chips, though.
Yes, they're smaller. Yes, but they do the same thing.
Normally
And
when
they
you make things smaller, it costs more.
But generally, the wafer and see that's the whole balance when they do all this stuff. they generally try to get it plus or minus, within, reason, right?
Mhm.
They generally get the new wafer to be about the same price. No, there's some plus and minus indeed, but overall the math works out, right?
Yeah.
It's been like that since forever. So I'm just not as impressed as the power savings as what we could have at this point. It's been 3 years, right? But like I said, old slide. Maybe they are using 5 nanometer now, right? We don't know.
Right.
We don't know.
I never complain about my Xbox running too much energy. It's my refrigerator
It's
and
my
my air
AC.
conditioner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
But
yeah.
like, hey, speaking of skirts, I hate that controller.
Hey,
I hate the
100
little, I hate the
wanted to
little
get in.
skirt at the bottom. The little where
What, the
but like
black?
I hate that it's like I hate the
100,
little
yeah, you want
skirt.
Oh, the
I
division?
want them to I want them to. I hope they keep it the same where you get the grips around the side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the little skirt is ugly.
The controller seems a little too glossy for me. I don't know if that's just the picture, the rendering, and all
I
that.
would want a solid one. Hopefully that's a mock-up.
Oh, you mean matte,
It's like the
or whatever. Matte, you mean, instead of glossy.
well, no,
Yeah,
no,
I
the
don't
white
like
part.
I've never liked glossy. I've hated glossy devices. Never liked them.
Me too.
But you were talking about the Elite controller and how you have the interchangeable parts, which we've known for years since the first one.
Right.
I have my first one right here. And this is actually a replacement for my 2016 one that I got with the Elite console bundle, right? And this is the replacement they sent back, when was it, like 2017. I've had it since then. No issues whatsoever. It's been one of the most used controller I've had, right? Just last week, my poor thumbstick, the rubber came right off. That's how much I've used it, right? That the little protective rubber, kind of like this one, came right off. It just disintegrated when I was playing Starfield the other night. And I'm like, why is my controller feel weird? It's like, what's up with these rubber pieces? And then finally I realized, like, oh man, my favorite thumb size, because I like the low profile ones. I don't like the tall profile ones. It's like the rubbers.
I was shooting on the right stick.
2015.
No, yeah,
is that a day one controller? Like you bought it as soon as it came out?
Well, it came with the bundle. It came with the Elite bundle. Remember, there was an Xbox One Elite bundle.
For Halo 5, right?
No. There was the black VCR, the VCR looking model, and it came out with the Elite bundle. And what that gave you was the Xbox One, but instead of just a traditional hard drive, it had a hybrid.
You get the Elite controller.
It had a hybrid hard drive and the Elite controller.
Okay, so the controller, right? And so I remember that came out the same day as the controller, right?
Yeah.
The controller came out on October 27th, the day before my birthday, 2015. That's 8 years ago.
Yep. So the one that came with the system, it started getting stick drift, right?
Right.
And it started happening like right before the year was up. And I called support. I called support and it's like, hey, this controller is getting stick drift. I'm not liking it. Right? What can we do? And they were saying, well, it's past the 90 days. I was like, whoa, hold on. This does not fall under the 90-day warranty period because it came with the system. It came as a bundle. I didn't buy this separately. And they looked it up. They looked it up by serial number. It's like, oh, you sure did. All right, we'll send you a replacement. Go ahead and ship this. Here's the label, and we'll send you a replacement. And this is what they sent me. No issues. Still functioning very fine. No stick drift whatsoever, except that the little rubber thing finally gave out.
Hey, Tech,
but that's okay.
You don't like the.
But that's okay because what do you get? You get more attachments. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Oh, Tech, right quick. 100 wants to know if he can hop in. Would you be able to give him a Discord link?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll get a minute. Go ahead, realist. What were we gonna do?
No, I was gonna ask you. Like you said, you don't like the longer stick. Have you ever tried them?
I tried
on the right stick.
No. On the right side?
I found it. I got it.
Actually,
that's what it's for. That's what it's for because it's because the way the sticks work, like the shorter it is, the more you move. So it helps you from it helps a little. It helps somewhat for me, but it does help for overcompensation. So like you're getting shot already, and he's got the jump on you, and you
Yeah.
and you jerk the stick. It helps you make smaller movements. They have the long stick. They put rings on the stick to
Yeah.
make you move even less. But that's what the longer sticks are for. They're not for the movement. They're for the camera or aim. You should try it. Like once you try it and you see the difference, you might not go back to two short sticks.
Yeah. No, it just seems like with the long sticks, it's just like I have to go a lot further to do what I'm supposed to do with
Right, right. But that's why it's for just the look. Because you don't want to make big movements when you're aiming. You want to
Yeah.
make small movements, and that's what it helps you do.
100.
Oh, I just sent him.
I sent you the link to the.
Okay, because I was looking for him on my DMs. I haven't DM'd him in a while, so
Yeah. I sent it on his Twitter, the Twitter thing. When he pops into the server, then I have to give him mod thing because whatever. It's Discord's weird. It doesn't give you access to the voice channel right away. That's why I had to make both of you guys mods.
right.
I feel empowered.
I know. I know.
Oh, but you don't have to make mods to make that happen. But yeah,
No, you don't. But I just I couldn't figure out how to do it, so I was just like, I'll just get mods.
No, just leave it like that. It's easy. It's easy because whenever you guys are like, because I was like, man, oh shoot, man, I'm late. Now look, all I had to do was go to the little bell.
Yeah,
and you guys are right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's see, user, server settings. Let's see if he popped in yet.
Because he's probably waiting to pop in. Oh, that's right. I could send him the link in Discord, but
He did a show earlier. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I think there was Doxter, or was that Flip? One of them put up a link. Oh shoot, let me listen. Then I see it's over, but I listened to about an hour. I listened to the rest of it in a minute. You know how they go. You know how it goes down over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was basically a Saturday show on Thursday, man. It was fun. It was good stuff.
Oh yeah. Y'all had a 3-hour show on Unlimited. I didn't even finish that one.
3 hours.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
there was a lot of them. But the time went pretty quick. But it was a long show. It was about
Bro,
as long as
we did 3 hours the other day.
You're right. It was about as long as that one. Yeah.
It's illegal was reading articles.
Yeah.
Was he playing a audio?
No. He actually read.
Yeah, he read a lot of things.
He read because see,
And he
for
had a lot of
me,
things to say too.
yeah, because see, my thing is like they keep trying to say the PlayStation is more powerful or you can't count teraflops. Just because certain games are coming out looking better on PlayStation. And then we continue to act as if the PlayStation 3 wasn't the more powerful console, but it was not the lead platform and it was more difficult to develop for.
Yep.
So Xbox got the first port and then the first version and then they ported it over to PlayStation.
Yep.
It's pretty much the same thing they're doing now. And this is why PlayStation is still selling PS4s, why they're not ready to quite declare it next gen only, is because the minute that they do that, their 60 console lead goes down to 15.
Yep.
60 million consoles or 60 million console lead goes down to 15 million or whatever it is now. Right? Because we don't even know how many Xboxes sold, but I'm going to say it's around 30, not 22. It's closer to 30 than 22. I would bet money on that.
Yeah.
But since they're not they're not sharing those numbers, and PlayStation is. But the minute they declare it next gen only, if you notice, Xbox was ready to move on. Like they said 2 years, they meant 2 years. They're not even making any more because I believe Hi-Fi Rush could have ran at 30, especially on the One X.
On the One X for sure.
Right, and they could have ran at 30 on the OG. Yep. So, but they're ready to move on. If you notice, now PlayStation has the production. They're trying to sell Spider-Man 2 next gen only, but they have alienated all these people who are still buying a PS4 in 2023 and 2022.
That's why I was expecting that game to have been on PS4, and I was shocked.
I thought it was going to be on PS, but I see this now. They say we have enough production, but that's wrong in my opinion for them to still be selling PS4s if they know that the EOL is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the same thing happened with the PS2, and there was a deluge of games to pick up. I mean, it worked for the PS2, and we all gave it credit. I remember gamers of all walks of life
That's the
respecting
biggest
that, right?
console ever, though.
Right. But I mean, the PS4 isn't that far behind it, though. Let's be frank. I'm not.
It
Listen, man, I'm
is.
not gonna sit and talk crap about Sony when they did good on something, and that was one thing they did pretty
Bro, you're
well, was
talking
sell
about 40 million consoles.
the PS4.
Uh, PS4 was at 150 and PlayStation was at 114.
And the PS2 was like 150 or something.
No, I'm saying PS2 is at like 150, PS4 is like 114.
Yeah, that's a
153
lot.
to 114. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
okay.
like it makes more sense for that console, especially like everything was new. Like we're talking years ago. We're talking like 20 years ago.
Right.
So like now we kind of have an established cadence of how things happen. 2 years,
It was
two and a
good
half
way of putting it.
years, and then they get rid of the old gen and tell everybody, hey, now it's time to get the new console. Stop making games like 2K and shooter game. What's that shooter game? Call of Duty on the old gen and force people to buy the new console. I don't play Duty. So it's never on top tip of my tongue. It'll when it's in Game Pass, I'll play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's but this right here, it's like
I'll take
they're
you never
trying to
figured it
pad
out.
they're trying to pad their they're trying to pad their numbers. They're trying to pad their numbers, and they're trying to because as long as the PS4 exists and being developed for, they have that marketing. They have that strength where they have that negotiation strength. That all leaves once PlayStation 4 is out of the equation. That means that you're gonna hedge your kind of like what EA did with Xbox One. They felt like the Xbox One was gonna pick up where the 360 left off. So if you do that, that means that you're putting your eggs in Sony's basket, which the only one that's really willing to do that is Square Enix.
Yep.
But they have
Yeah.
little they lose a lot of their negotiation power once they move away from PlayStation 4.
Yeah, hundreds already in. I'm just waiting for him to jump into the voice channel. So I already gave him.
Yeah, just jump into tech gaming. Well, I sent him the link to the this room specifically. So if he
Yeah.
has mod, he should be able to just hop right in.
Yeah, he has mod
This will be
now.
another learning experience. Well, no, it's easy because I was in Queen Trash's thing. It was pretty easy.
Queen trash.
Yeah, he knows
Yeah,
how to
because
mess with Discord, though. He gets
that was my
comfortable with
first. That was my first time ever using Discord. That's the only reason why I had that Discord. That's my same Mr. T old avatar from like
something.
years ago.
Back when I first met you.
Yeah, because like
he'd be like, "What's up, man?"
I created Discord for that person. But like, yeah, oh man, Did y'all see the Ginger Prime stuff?
The what?
You know what?
The Ginger Prime and Beast went at it.
Oh, I hopped in
Well,
after
really.
Beast already destroyed him verbally, and he was just talking, and he was talking. I can rant a little bit, a lot, but still, right? And so I didn't catch what happened, but dude said something stupid, and everybody's like, yeah, he played himself basically. Dude played himself.
Well, where he? To me, I was not interested, but it came across my TL.
Oh damn!
So it was like, yeah, because like, man, honestly, like if you're gonna have a discussion, you gotta let the other person talk. And when I go in spaces with him, he would go have these bouts with people. I'll be like, hey, man, just let him say what he gotta say, man. You know, because obviously, everybody has people who are fans of them. Like even you, Sick. There are people who are like, wow, Six Layer be spitting facts, right? Everybody. So there's a lot of people, but like calling him out his name and stuff like that without giving him an opportunity to speak, because
Well,
we already know what he is,
I
right?
like
He's a
the
person.
ones.
I had no
I find
idea
it
at all.
funny the ones that say, "Oh man, I owned them." I say, "Dude, you didn't even let the guy talk."
But
But see,
what
that's what
happened
but see, that's
was
what
he said
PlayStation
something
fans do.
really
Yeah.
fucked up and stupid about racism or whatever, and like he burnt himself by saying that alone or
But he
something
is
like.
a
I didn't
comedian.
hear it though, so I don't
He's a,
know.
he's a,
Oh.
he's a legit comedian.
What was it that was
Right.
recent about racist? Something was it about the game?
No,
But
it started with this is what I know. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
I don't
Sid.
know, so I can tell you.
Is that
I missed the whole thing.
Beast of Truth called out basically making fun of what's that Kratom game with the 150 Sony devs.
No.
Legal says it's a great game. Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
So
Callisto Protocol,
basically, he cracked on it saying, "Yeah, it's that Sony greatness."
yeah.
And then
Dude popped in.
Ginger
I don't know
Prime.
what.
Ginger Prime says, "What you're doing is actually bad for gaming and discouraging to the devs." I'm paraphrasing, right? And that's all he needed. Like Michael Jordan,
Yep.
that's all I needed. He said, and that set him up. But to me, I wouldn't even waste my time with it if I was either
There
one
was
of
somebody
them.
who recently just started going off the rails because I don't know if it had to do with Starfield or something, and they started saying, "Oh, that's because he's black." I'm like, it has nothing to do with his race. The guy.
That's J Dub, who's always saying something stupid. I don't understand how people are cool with that dude, bro.
Yeah,
Because when Altman died, he made a joke about the rating of a game.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. That killed him. Come on, man. That's like so poor taste. And then Queen Trash said something about not being able to land on a gas giant. And then J Dub says, "Oh, they only said that because he was black."
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I remember that. And that's what it was. And
what's race got to do with any of that?
Oh my! I rarely respond to those guys, and I did. It's like, dude, what does race have to do with anything? That's nothing. He just made a stupid comment, and he got railed for it, right?
Because see, a lot of these people are getting hip to the console war.
Right.
Y'all think the console war is toxic now? It's about to get worse now that mainstream media is getting involved. Because I don't know if like y'all paid attention to that interview with Phil Spencer and God Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And why didn't you optimize for PC? Right? Are these games still coming to PlayStation? Right? Now that the mainstream media is starting to understand, because you understand, like even in the trial, I don't know if y'all listened, but I did. Are you familiar with the term console war? And then Phil Spencer says, yeah, it's a social construct. Now, once mainstream media gets wind of this, and they start to understand and how much traction and interaction that they'll get from injecting themselves, it's about to get way worse than it is now.
Yeah.
We're calling out even now on social media. You know how IGN and GameSpot, they gave it those low grades just to get those hate clicks, right? Like this one.
Bro, PC. What is it? PC Gamer or PC Mag? We gave Starfield a 7 out of 10. Every day they put it up. We gave Starfield 7 out of 10.
And they repeat it over and over and over. They tweet every day.
And they got interaction each time.
Yep.
That's the sad part.
Oh my god. Yes. Where's Hunter, man? I was waiting for him to jump in.
I was trying to fill the air till Hundo got in, but Hundo, he's old, man. He's old. You gotta spell it out for him.
Oh man, don't let him hear you. He'll jump.
I don't want
to. He might be expeditious now.
I wonder if he fell asleep.
Oh, no.
but yeah, man.
We definitely move on because we have one or two other topics, especially that chart I wanted to talk about.
A quick one. Games for Gold is gone. Xbox Live is gone, and then we got what's the new one? Game Pass Core. Mm-hmm. And you get a select curated list of games, which right now they have like about 40. They said 25.
I was about to say, I thought it was 25.
Yeah, so there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 14 here, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 on this first page. And then 34 here, 35, 36. There's 36 games.
Nice.
36 games.
I mean, if you don't want to play online, you just want games, you single player or whatever. I guess that's fine.
It works out.
But no, that's what it's for, though. It's for online course, just online.
I mean, you got some good ones here. You got Limbo. Yeah. People love Limbo. You got Vampire. You guys were raving about Vampire, right?
Vampire Survivor?
Yeah.
Vampire.
And they got Dead Cells, too.
Yeah, they got Dead Cell. They got State Decay. They got Turtles. Psychonauts. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Psychonauts
Ori.
2?
Yeah, Psychonauts 2.
Ori. I'm about to drop down 4.
Inside, Hellblade. I mean, come on. I mean, how can you not like this? And then page 2 is Halo Wars 2.
You know what it is, though? What? All it is, it's setting them up.
Yes.
They're going to get in. Because see, I was thinking about this while I was dazed off working.
Yeah.
Like, part of the things, like, what makes Nintendo, like, undisputed is they properly cultivate their games, right? They put it out there and they give it the attention they deserve, right? And they've been doing this for 40 years. Whereas when it comes to Xbox or even PlayStation, they haven't been able to quite do that.
Yeah.
There's like Xbox, was it Nintendo comes out with a game and it's selling 20 to 50 million units, right? Most of them, 90% of them are at $60. PlayStation, Nintendo can't do it. And if you look at like Mario, why is it that all these? Because there are a lot of 2D side scrollers that I think are better than Super Mario Land and Super Mario World or New Super Mario Brothers, but they don't touch the success of Nintendo's game, Mario. Nothing about Mario makes any sense or anything. It was made in a time when we just played games.
Yeah.
These plumbers with monsters and pipes. You know what I mean? But like you get Psychonauts, barely gets any traction. Even Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank takes a dump on Mario. Psychonauts takes a dump on Mario. But it does not get the same type of traction.
No.
But the main reason is people don't come to PlayStation for Ratchet and Clank. People didn't come to Xbox for Psychonauts. But Microsoft wants them to. So how do you get people involved? How do you get more people playing your games? Microsoft is all in on this service. This is what I was saying to myself. I said, you know what? By the time my kids have kids, there might not be a service because there'll be enough people that know this game and have fallen in love with this game that are willing to pay for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if their subscription numbers get over 150 million, then the subscription lives forever. But that's the difference between Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. Because when Halo was at its, and then another thing is there may be copycats, but for some reason people won't abandon Nintendo. They won't abandon Mario. They won't abandon Splatoon for freaking Foam Stars. They won't abandon any of these games. Like Metroid, people still act like Metroid is better than Halo. Right, but then when you got Halo comes along.
They ever did? I'm shocked.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about Metroid Prime. But
whatever. Yeah.
It's
No.
a game. It's a good game.
Great game.
But then,
better than Halo. Hell no.
no,
Yeah.
but you look at Halo. Halo set off this thing, right? I know games existed before it, but Halo was the first game that I've ever seen people line up around stores for in the FPS genre.
Yep.
So then you get Call of Duty, you get Battlefield, you get Medal of Honor, you get all these games, and Halo comes out every 5 years, and these games are coming out more frequently, and they kind of steal the fire from Halo. So now what does Microsoft do, right? Microsoft has to get people playing these games. Game Pass comes, you got way more people that would have ever played Psychonauts through Game Pass. Starfield didn't need Game Pass. But there are going to be a lot of other games, Sea of Thieves, games like that. And years down the line, this is why Microsoft doesn't give up on their IP, and this is why I applaud PlayStation. As much as the quote unquote hardcore ponies don't want to see more Horizon, we got to give PlayStation props for finally sticking to something that might not be what they think it is, but they're sticking to it because there's so many old IP that people are still asking for, but Sony gave up on them. People still asking for Resistance and SOCOM, MAG, something not to a lesser extent, MAG. But you got to stick with these games.
I've enjoyed MAG.
Yeah, you got to stick with them, and you got to keep putting them out there because God of War was never. Yep, that's another one. That's Game Heroes. That's Game Heroes joint right there. But like those games might not be a hit. God of War was never a huge hit until 2018. You know what I mean? But they stuck to it. They went and they revised it. I don't know if y'all ever watched Raising Trails, whatever the name of the documentary was. But another one, but it's super long, is the Double Fine documentary. It's like 36 videos and all like an hour long.
Yeah, that's what that one's long. I've seen that.
But it explains how hard it was to make that game. But Xbox has to start. This is why this is a long-term play. Everything is long-term. Us Xbox, we want to see immediate results. But Xbox sees Nintendo. They see what Nintendo is. What is it that you admire most about Xbox, Phil? Their IP. Whenever Nintendo drops a game, their fans show up for it. The power and strength of their IP is the thing that I admire the most about Nintendo. And as an executive, you see that. Then you have to ask the question, how did they do it?
Yeah.
40 years of Mario, 30 years of Zelda.
Yeah.
and sticking to it. And then finally, you get to this point in 2017, and Zelda is a 20 million seller, and then Tears of the Kingdom is what, over 11 million the first week. This is what Xbox has to do, and Game Pass is going to be the catalyst for that, because everybody's invested in Nintendo, they are invested in Nintendo, unlike the other two consoles, whether we want to admit it or not. People, we played Nintendo, and if our kids asked us for Mario, let's say we weren't gamers, we would understand why our kid is asking us for the new Mario game on the Switch, Pokemon. This is what Xbox. This is why you see the commercial.
Now go ahead, go finish.
No, I'll finish that. And then that's why you see the commercial where people are getting old playing video games. That's part of the vision. They're planning to cultivate a culture and IP that people know, and they could go on, because when you think about it, Skyrim, everybody's hyped for Skyrim, but my kid don't know anything about Skyrim. So this next Skyrim that comes out, kids need to be into it, because eventually we're going to get too old, rheumatoid kicks in, and we can't hold controllers. So the kids have to get invested, and that's what it's going to have to be about, because that's what Nintendo was able to do, and PlayStation made the mistake of putting other people's IP in front of theirs. So now when they put out IP, it's like, whatever, give me Call of Duty, right? Because I can't think of a game that people are like, that Spider-Man. Because before Spider-Man, I can't think of a game that people that I ever heard of that was made by PlayStation that actual casual PlayStation fans came looking for.
Yeah.
You're a PlayStation player, Peck. So you've been playing it. This is my first time playing a PlayStation. I had a PlayStation 4 for 3 months and sold it because I didn't care about anything that was on it. But my cousins are PlayStation fans, and I've never heard them as casuals talk about anything that PlayStation made. They would just say PlayStation is better, but they're playing Madden just like I was playing Madden on my Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
So this is PlayStation's issue and Microsoft's issue. But Microsoft is fully committed to their service, whereas PlayStation is going to try to build a base selling them for $70. Nintendo was able to sell Tears of the Kingdom for $70 because people are invested and have been invested since we were kids. Nobody else has anything like that.
Not at all.
What were you going to say, Tech?
I was going to say with Nintendo.
I guess we tried to wait to 100 with his old ass.
What happened to 100, man? No, so we eventually found the Switch. I think I mentioned that a while back, right? I actually put a tracker on it. Now I can find it. But my younger one, who's still into Pokemon, he approached me last weekend. He's like, "Daddy, I want something, but I know you're gonna say no." Right? They all say that, right? I know I want to ask you, but you're gonna say no. I know you're gonna say no. I'm like, what?
Might be right.
It's like, he goes, I want to play the Pokemon game. I was like, well, we have the Pokemon. We got Scarlet and Violet. No, I want to play the DLC. And I was like, and he's like, it's only like $30. It's like, I know how much they are.
Only.
And that's only for one of them, not for both Scarlet and Violet. Only covers, you get to choose.
They do that. How many of those games do they have two of? I know they have Brilliant Diamond.
It seems like they release every release now has two releases, which is like Charlotte and Diamonds and Shield, and then Scarlet and Violet.
Yes.
Yeah, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. You had Sword and Shield. You had whatever the Scarlet one you said. So that's crazy.
And so I look around the play area that's up here. I go, man, I wish this room was really clean right now. You know, I wish it was like spotless where I don't have to step on the landmine of Lego pieces. You know, it's like, man, it'd be really nice if somebody would do that. And I kind of like look away. Man, he got to cleaning quick, right?
Oh yeah,
it was spotless. And like, look, Daddy, look how clean it is. Like, oh my God, how did it get clean so quick? You know, like I'm playing all stupid, right? And I guess, and I go, I guess he's like, okay, well, you just gotta use your credit card. You could put your credit card in this. It's like, I'm not using my credit card on the thing. He said, I'm just going to go get the card at Target. He's like, no, but you can, this is right here. You can order right here online. He brings me the Switch, right? And I was like, I know, but I don't trust their payment system. I'm going to get the card, right? And I finally ordered it, got the code, popped the code in there. And I guess I moved too fast and I picked the wrong one, right? I picked the one for Violet. He didn't want the one for Violet. He wanted one for Scarlet, right? And we had a hard time. Like, I was like, where is the Scarlet DLC? I know we got it, right? And I look at the history. I was like, it's right there. It says we bought it, so and so. Well, it turns out I got the wrong one. So he started playing. He was so sad. He's like, I wanted the Scarlet one. I'm like, okay, it was my fault for picking the wrong one. I'm like, it's like, why don't you just play it right now and let's see how you like it, dude? That kid finished it in that same week. He was enjoying it, but we didn't have the Switch for, those number of months, right? Because it was gone and we didn't know where we put it, right? And once we got it, dude, that obsession over Pokemon took over again. He wanted to play Pokemon, which is what you're talking about. It's like, these are just, look how many Pokemon games are there, and they're still playing it, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
They come out with like three. They come out with like 3 a year, and they go crazy. Because I remember, what was that? I think it was Sword and Shield was the last one that I paid attention to.
Mm-hmm.
They both hit 10 million in a week.
Yes. And
both of them.
It's either you can get Sword, or you can get Shield, or you get the dual pack and get both Sword and Shield. And that's like $100 and something because they're $100. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, I would do that. Like I said, my neighbor, big ass kid like me. Yeah. He big though. He like 6'3". Looked like he live in his mama's basement.
Hey man, you playing Pokemon?
No, see, because like I tried.
I'm 6'4", but I don't live in my mama's basement.
But like Pokemon, but I would rather play other games. Because I bought our kids.
Oh, they got that one too. Yeah.
I bought it, put about 8 hours into it, and went back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand like the love of these games, but I think that when you were a kid, you loved Pikachu, you loved the evolutions, Geodude evolving into something new, and Raichu, and all these other things. You loved that, and you developed a love for it, I guess, like anything else.
Oh yeah,
because I listen to adults talk about it like, really, bro? You got stuffed animals? You got a stuffed Pikachu, bro?
Oh man.
Even my wife didn't even play Pokemon, and she knows some of the characters.
Yeah.
Hey,
no, my son will have me sit down and say, "Daddy, look, watch this evolution. Like, it's gonna happen. Watch.
Nah, Pikachu at very least, though, right? Is like a cute crossover type of character. Like, Pikachu himself crossed over. Remember that movie they did? Hotel. What was it? Hotel Pikachu.
What?
Detective Pikachu, right?
Oh, Detective
Pikachu.
That was a popular movie.
I liked it.
Coming out this year?
I actually liked it. Yeah. It's only been like 2 years, 3 years since I came.
Yeah, and then like Pokemon came out, it was jank. Nobody cared. Like the kids want to ride along playing the game.
Oh yeah.
The so-called sophisticated gamers are still crying because they still haven't fixed it. But I think that
the news broke out that Ash is finally going to be gone. The main character, the main human character.
I know Ash.
Yeah.
Ash is you.
That he's no longer going to be around anymore. Yeah.
What?
Something like that. Well, the voice actor is retiring.
Already, apparently, I read the headlines like a month ago. Or 2 months ago. He already left in the cartoon. He's not there anymore. Like,
okay, well there you go.
Not the main character anymore.
There you go. Yeah. So.
I don't know, bro. But hey, so did you guys watch TGS? I see you got it on the screen.
Oh, I woke up and I watched it. I was watching on Sean's
Sean
on 786, right? But for like 10 minutes in the middle of it, I fell asleep for 10 minutes because it was early 4:40 a.m. when I woke up.
No.
Because I'd seen his stream was going to be 4:40 a.m., right? And remember, I had that long podcast the night before. Even though I went to sleep at 11, usually I go to sleep around midnight anyway. But I wake up earlier. And
Yeah.
I know for a fact that I slept within like 10, 15 minutes in the middle of it that I fell asleep and woke back up. Because what I did was I had my iPad right next to my head. Right next to my head, I'm just watching, right? I never even left my bed when I woke up. I had my Alexa to wake me up, right? Just grabbed the iPad. I went to Sean's channel, and I was watching, and I was
Breath
focused, right?
stinking.
And then, literally, I wasn't out of bed. I didn't get out of bed. I was watching, I was focused, and then it was okay. They showed a couple of things. I was like, this is not just for us. This is really for Japan, right?
Yeah.
But we're seeing a couple things because we're gonna get those things too, right? So it was mid up until a point where it got better. Some parts were mid, but the parts that were mid were because they weren't for us per se. They were more for the Japanese than for the international market, right? But most things were for the international market. We finally get, Ace Attorney, right? And the Yuding Chronicle, but they showed that again Exo Primal, which is not the best thing. Cell Barcelona didn't really, pique my interest. But then they showed the fact that more of those Yakuza games are coming to Game Pass,
yes.
which I should have assumed. And so I was already saying I was going to
Exo
buy
Primal
that
Season
Yakuza.
2, baby.
Who cares about that, right? But that Yakuza game, the one, forget his name or whatever, like Forgotten, whatever the name is, right? That's going to be the one where they did the port of Daytona USA 2, Sega Arcade Racer,
Oh, Kiro-san?
or whatever they call it.
Kazuma Kiro? The main character?
The man who races, no, the Daytona 2, the arcade game. Oh. It's gonna be in that game. You know how eventually you can go to arcade and you can play arcade games. Well, that's gonna be in there, and that's the first time it's been out outside of the arcade. And if Sega had sold that as a separate game, I'd have bought that. And I was planning to buy this game just to play that arcade game. I'm not too interested in this game yet because I've never even beaten Yakuza 0, right? I have a lot of Yakuza games.
Man, I flew right through them because they were so good.
Right. But I want to play that one arcade game. Thankfully, it's on Game Pass. I don't even have to pay the $50 for it. So
yeah.
And there's another like Dragon game that's coming to Game Pass as well.
The two Like a Dragons, the man who erased his name, and Inshi. The main character is Kazuma Kiro. He's awesome. But Goro will be my favorite character. Goro, the eye patch guy. Yeah. He is awesome.
With the funky dance type moves.
Yes, dude. He is amazing. I like that character.
Well, he pretends to be. He's not really that kind of. But after a while, I feel like that's actually his personality now. Like, he's done it for so long. That is him in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah. Great series. So there was a couple of great, Japanese games, like Japan is slow, it's Japan. So it's going to be a slow burn, but you see the progression, it's the support from Japan, right? It's a slow progression, and in Japan, you notice how they're pushing PC Game Pass more, because PC is starting to blow up over there. Particularly when AMD started having these APU-driven machines, right? Mm-hmm. That's really popular over there. The small size and all of that, right? That's perfect for the Japanese, and so PC gaming is starting to blow up in Japan finally, because the rest of Asia has already been supporting PC, right? But Japan is really starting to get into it now, and AMD had a press conference at one of these E3s or something. I think maybe 2019, the last one or so, where they did a whole thing about PC gaming, like a presentation by AMD. And so, PC gaming in Japan. But I'd ask you to put this chart up here.
Well, I'm not sharing it yet, so hold on a second. You're getting ahead because they can't see it yet. All right, so we're going to need our financial analyst, the realist, explain to me what we're seeing here today.
Hold on, I'm going to give you one more link. If you look in the group chat, that last thing that AfterBoss had posted with the thing from Scooby-Doo, could you put that on another tab?
Yeah, hold on.
Or would you be able to put that video on a tab?
Let me get
and put it full screen so they don't see the rest of our
my god,
the group conversation.
The group who posted it?
It's the most recent post from AfterBoss.
AfterBoss. He put like a Scooby-Doo video.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that one?
Put that up.
All right, hold on a second.
But don't play it yet. Just have it ready after he discusses all of that, and we can just play that real quick.
Okay.
It's like 3 seconds.
All right.
No, that graph is pretty simple though. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say like it says PlayStation is in last place, but these are horrible margins.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
like when I look at this, and I've been saying this for a minute. Gaming is not as healthy as what we think it is.
Yeah.
Gaming is really fragile. Like us looking at gaming and saying, oh, it's so great, and they keep talking about the profits of this and the profits of that, and when they speak of the overall, it makes gaming look great, but it's very top heavy. These are, for one, horrible margins. I don't like, but I wish I had 18 billion dollars so that I could make 1.4 every year or quarter, whatever this is. I can't see it, but it's just, yeah, it's just basically this one's simple. This one's saying how much revenue they made and what they took home.
$12,000, huh?
It's the net, the gross and the net. And like, wow, but we really don't know what's going on with Xbox. And if we look at Xbox, like Xbox shouldn't really be in the equation. They are in the process of spending like $75 billion,
What?
and it
Yeah, but
looks,
so did Sony with all these other things they do, and of course
yeah.
Nintendo as well. So I
But
don't
see,
see that
the
representing
thing, the thing about Nintendo is it's theirs. You know what I mean? Like with Sony, they spend a lot of money to create this illusion that things that
of
aren't
exclusivity. Yeah,
theirs belong to them. You know,
right.
same thing with Xbox, Game Pass, and all these things. Whereas Nintendo is just over here, in their own lane with their 10-year-old hardware, and they're over here selling 20, 30, 50 million copies of their software. That's the difference in these guys. Nintendo doesn't have to spend as much as these other guys do to make the money that they do, and they take home more.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when we talk about market leaders and stuff, like a lot of that stuff gets convoluted. Only reason why PlayStation is the quote unquote market leader because they have more consoles out there and they sell more third party content. But from the looks of
But in
this,
terms of
they're the one,
revenue,
they're the ones in third place. But
yeah,
when it comes to overall revenue, if you saw the leaks, Microsoft wants to make what they say 30 billion. You know, that would put them ahead of they'll put them up there with Tencent, if not ahead of Tencent. They're the ones who make the most money, and they don't have hardware out there. They don't have to do R&D in hardware. They're just out there and they buy popular games. But hey, who is that? That's After Boss's little deal.
Wait, I
And
had
hmm
to let me switch over
PlayStation,
because nobody else can
PlayStation,
see it.
and,
Uh,
and a lot of people we laughed at Jim Ryan for saying they can't recover. PlayStation's in a very fragile spot. It's one
he
it's
wasn't
one of the
lying.
things King David says. There won't be a PlayStation 6. There won't be a PlayStation 6.
yeah.
So
That's what he said.
we'll have to see because they are in a fragile spot. If that console lead shrinks, then where do they go? If they're not the quote unquote market leader through their consoles, where do they go?
Yeah, and that
But
corporation
game
needs
to
that
me,
because that's their main profiting thing.
gaming as a whole is in a very fragile spot, man. Because we see these studios laying off with every economic downturn. They can't sustain through it. Like Crystal Dynamics just had a big layoff the other day. They probably
Yeah, and
all
realist,
rolled
every
over onto
couple of
Perfect
years they
Dark.
keep saying like there's a crash coming to the industry. You know what I'm saying? Every couple of years we hear this conversation come back around, right? And and it's with the economic tides as well, like that goes up and down, but it's the industry also doing it to itself. I would say it's more the industry than the state of the economy. In fact, I feel when the economy is bad, people want to spend money wisely, and gaming, can often give you the best bang for your buck,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's more the damage the industry is doing to itself, although the economic tides can help or hurt. And with it being so, what's the word there, volatile, right? You don't want to, X factor like that being on, you know, the final nail in your coffin if things are really bad, right?
Yeah.
So that's not a good look.
All right.
But when everybody is talking about how PlayStation is number one, uh, it's more than just sales of consoles. You also have to sell games, and then you have to make a profit, all of that. So when you do that, you get a situation like this. Show them, Tech.
Well, if it isn't our old friend Bluestone the Great.
Oh man, it's ridiculous, bro. It really is. It really is.
I like sound effects.
Third in profit after all the big talk. It's just like, yo, when push comes to shove and you look at all the details all together.
Yeah.
I don't see why PlayStation fans have been so braggadocious for so long. Because everybody has known this for so long. It's just that now that Xbox is in a much better position and everybody's seemingly wanting to like speak plainly about the situation now, right? Like ponies are a joke by everybody. Everybody's laughing at the ponies now, right?
Why you guys laughing at me?
All the demagogues who love to sit there and point and say this is what's going on and point, you know how it is. Or like the modest who don't care one way or another, right? Will just stick with the winner and point and laugh at the loser, right? Or at least what's perceived to be the loser.
Yeah. That's
what's happening to PlayStation and Xbox now. Like they're swapping positions again, where it seems like now the momentum is on Xbox's side, right? And now the press and everybody else is talking more plainly about the fortunes and misfortunes of both Xbox and PlayStation, and people are starting to recognize the truth for what it was, the way Xbox fans always knew it to be, right? Because we had to be honest with ourselves since at least 10 years now about what's been going on with Xbox. We had a long time to mull over our position or the Xbox position, right? If you're Xbox fan and that's what you mainly play on, we've had a long time to sit there and ponder these thoughts, and everybody seems to know who's got the momentum and who doesn't. Because what I always say is, you put the shoe on the other foot. If it was Xbox who was going through all the things that Sony goes through, right, on a nearly weekly basis, almost, right? Like Xbox would have been done with long ago. Microsoft, Satya would have been like, man, Xbox has to be shut down. This is done. I'm done. I'm tired of this. We've been losing money. We've tried all these things. It isn't working, right? But it's PlayStation, and a lot of these people, they grew up on PlayStation. That's all they know. You have folks in the press who that's all they know. They're biased for it, and even they can't hide it. And when they try to, everybody sees them for what they are, right? And then there are those who try to think, they think they're smart, and they're trying to they put out their biased crap on purpose, like IGN and GameSpot, like we talked about, and thinking that's going to get them the hate clicks and hate views. But everybody sees it for what it is. Everyone now sees it for what it is. The demagogues online who like to sit there and point and laugh and then act like they're above it all, right? But meanwhile they're just fanboys for PC, right? Even them, they're starting to toe the line, right? That PlayStation is fucking up. The Xbox is doing a lot better than people want to admit. Like, and their fortunes are looking way better. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And people have seen what it has been, what it truly has been for a long time. If you're a gamer, it doesn't matter if your system is the best selling. It's not supposed to be your concern how much money they're making. But you do have a concern for a little bit because you want to know that they're going to continue to be there. Because if they're not making any money at all, eventually, the Satya or whoever's in charge of Sony, or the big-headed Sony, is going to say, okay, we need to cut our losses and cut this division entirely. So, of course, you do have that motivation to hope that they're doing well, right? But Sony is the one who's not doing well, and Xbox is showing that they're doing
doing better. They're spending a lot of money, but like you care, right? But it's not to create. Well, I'm just saying, like you and me. I consider us three people, that we talk to.
Yeah.
Not when we just talk about it from like a fanboy perspective. It's like we care, but from a constructive point of view, right? If Microsoft is doing poorly, like that means there's no more Xbox, right? If PlayStation is doing poorly, if we see PlayStation doing poorly, PlayStation fans wouldn't listen to us say it, but sometimes you might want to listen to somebody from the outside that's coming from, an honest place, because you are not going to see, because if you're a hardcore fan, they can do no wrong. And no matter what, they're going to persevere in your mind because you are a zealot or a fan, that won't see through. It's kind of like that guy. His girlfriend is cheating on him, but he won't listen to you. He'll get mad at you and then come back and apologize to you later when he catches her in the bed with somebody else.
Damn,
that's kind of
man. This turned.
But no, but listen, I don't know if y'all have ever had a friend that you tried to tell, like, dude,
simped out.
No,
simped the hell out.
No, dude, stop. Like, she's not it. And then, no, man, F you, man. You just a hater, man. And then next thing you know, man,
but she's right there, sucking the D, right there. Oh man.
Yeah, but like the dude on 40-Year-Old Virgin. I don't know if y'all remember that. The guy, Paul Rudd. He was like that little Mindy Kaling. That was his girlfriend in that movie. It was like he was sucking somebody. We were broken up. But anyway, so look. So they probably wouldn't listen to us say it. But
and it was Mindy Kaling of all people.
they probably wouldn't listen to us say it. But PlayStation is not as strong as they think it is, because let's just say, hell, but see, we know Xbox has the money to weather the storm.
And they did.
We don't know that about PlayStation. Well, Xbox never just completely fell off.
Right.
The reason why
the storm that they went through.
This is why PlayStation is like, they were willing to fight tooth and nail for Call of Duty, because that's how important it is to them. It represents a big chunk of revenue for them, and it represents, to me, in my opinion, the majority of their relevance. Because without Call of Duty, I don't think people care about PlayStation the way they do. Like, before PlayStation came, there was Nintendo dying, Sega was dying. Then here comes Sony when they're at their weakest. But now it's like everybody is kind of rising. Everybody's kind of rising, and Sony has to find a way to stay on top. Rise from your grave. But I honestly, when I look at the industry, I don't see the industry being strong. I see that there are people who are confident in what they do, like Strauss Zelnick. They don't care about anything, because they know that they have NBA 2K. The people are gonna die no matter if they rated a 1.9, and they have Grand Theft Auto that's gonna come out, or Grand Theft Auto that's printing billions right now. So they're fine. But a lot of these other companies, look at what EA is going through now. They did just buy somebody the other day. I can't remember the name of them, but they did just buy a studio. They should be fine. They're one of the larger companies. There are a lot of other companies that don't have that kind of money. Same thing with like a CDPR. I wouldn't be surprised if their stock bounced all the way back from what it fell down from.
Yeah, mostly at least.
Everybody can't bounce back from a failure. You look at some of these studios that are closing down because they had one bad game. They're not. Look at. Honestly, I'm starting to dislike Embracer. Embracer bought all these studios. They won't put them to work, and then they're getting rid of some of them. They're trying to sell Gearbox. It's like, why you bought them like a year ago? So to me, it seems like they're asset flippers.
Man, they're here locally too, man.
Yes, I like how you said that.
They're here in Dallas too.
Embracer?
No, Gearbox.
Oh no, Gearbox. Yeah, Gearbox.
Yeah, they're asset like lepers. Like, they sit on assets but don't do. It's like, well, then what you buy them for? But I would have thought they had like a bigger plan. Like, Embrace. I don't understand. And see, I'm not, as financially intelligent as you are, but you seem not to understand what's going on either, it seems.
Damn, he's calling you dumb. That's what you just call it.
Not to know what. No, like, let's understand what part.
Like, what Embracer is doing with all these public, like, I don't understand fully.
This is what I know.
Down with a lot of these IPs and these publishers and don't do, then what you buy them for? I don't get it.
This is what I don't know. Like, Embracer, they're not as big as a lot of people think they are. Like a lot of people think that Embracer can go buy Rockstar. A lot of people think that Embracer can go buy EA. EA is worth like 40 billion compared to Embracer at 9. But as far as their structuring, it seems like they're a group of investors who go around buying things. Like people come in, they're putting their money, kind of like a hedge fund or something. Like they're just going around, they're buying things to flip it, because they're not really putting it. I mean, THQ is doing all right, but THQ is doing what they've always done. But it seems like when it comes to managing, they don't know what to do with their assets. Because I mean, why would you lay off Crystal D people? You just bought them. They should be on Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah.
Well,
so what does that say about Tomb Raider if you're laying people off?
Yeah,
that's not a good look. But didn't they just put them onto like onto Perfect Dark, right? They're helping out with Perfect Dark, as far as we know.
Well, they've been. That's why I said that those guys probably left Embracer and went over to Perfect Dark.
Yeah. That's probably what happened. So Embracer might be really mad with Microsoft. Remember, they were supposed to be assisting them, right? Under contract or whatever. I don't know how that works, right? Assisting, not leaving Embracer to go over at Microsoft.
Yeah.
That's
so much to talk about, so little time.
Indeed.
So nearly 2 hours.
You had an hour and a half already?
We're at 2 hours and a half almost.
Yeah.
We're at 2 hours and 20 minutes right now.
Yep.
So, but good talks, good chatter. This is what makes it fun, man. So, and that's why we come here every week, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, I want to cover the time zones, make sure I got it right. So.
Indeed.
All right, guys. Any last words before we go and game or sleep?
Game on your games instead of arguing with morons who don't game. That's what I say.
Yeah. Just enjoy what you like, man. Don't worry about the rest. I'm telling you right now, learn it from a 12-year-old, man. They play Roblox. He doesn't care about what anybody else says. You know?
Roblox.
And Roblox.
If my daughter asks me for Robux again, I'm going to kick her in the butt.
Robux.
Because I've told her several times I'm not buying Robux.
Oh, boy.
Oh, they have my kids have a piggy bank with money in it. They will bring me $20, say, Daddy, I want some Robux. It's like, you're not using your money to buy Robux. But buy me Robux. I'm like, I'm not wasting my money on Robux.
If I'm not letting you waste your money, what makes you think I'm going to waste my money?
Yes.
Like,
yes. Now, if grandma gives them a gift card for their birthday or for Christmas, then I'll let them use it. I let them use that because my wife kind of gets a little sneaky there and keeps it for herself. And I'm like, that's stopping. So I started, because the kids don't know yet about gift card. I mean, they know what it is. They just don't understand really. And I've told my older, I was like, look, use your gift card. This is your money. Buy whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you no. So if you want Robux, you go ahead and get Robux, you know? Or, and this is what I've done with them. If I can keep a journal of how much there is on the card, I will buy it for you. And by the time you run out of money, I'll just keep the card for myself to kind of teach you a little, money handling. He's like, okay. So we've gone that route too, where, I'll pay for the stuff up to $50 and then I'll just take over the gift card and use it on myself at some point.
Cool. Yeah, it works. As long as he gets his money and whatever he wants out of it, he doesn't care.
Yeah. He'll get what he wants. And I'll keep like a journal. It's like, all right, we're going to start for later. $50. And every time you spend money, which is my money, then we'll make a note. I was like, all right, on this day, this is what you bought and this is how much it cost. Right. And then, until he runs out of money, virtual money pretty much, then I keep that gift card. And it's like, all right, it's my gift card now. My gift card. But yeah.
Give me my money.
Give me my money. So, all right. Well, guys, good night. Thank you for showing up. As always, Hundo, I don't know what happened to that guy. I wanted him to come on. Maybe next week. He can grace us with this.
He went to sleep.
He drank his Hennessy and knocked out, man. And he's 12 hours behind, so it's only 7:20 for him. Jeez.
See, but hey, some people they. I had an uncle, man. He wake up drunk.
What you guys doing? I ain't drunk.
No, he'll be up. It'll be 9 o'clock. I say, hey man, it's too early for that.
Never too early.
Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, Neff.
No, yeah, don't worry about me now.
All right. Won't.
All right, guys. Everybody, peace out. Chatterbox, I'm out of here. Thanks for showing up. Good night, and we out.
Yo.